Hello and welcome to another presentation of WCBN Sports' coverage of Michigan football. I'm Alex Strain, joined today by Andrew Miller and Andy Laidlaw here for Michigan against Penn State. Two teams coming into this game, both badly in need of a victory today. Michigan at 2-3, Penn State at 0-5. You could make the case these are the two most disappointing teams in college football this year. Who needs it more?
Well, you know, it's kind of hard for Penn State. You're starting off the first time ever in school history losing your first 5 games this season. I mean, coming into this game, who thought that the Wolverines would be 2-3 and the Penn State Nittany Lions would be 0-5? We thought this was going to be a game where both teams were contending for the Big Ten East, and, well, that's just not the story today, Alex. And, Andrew, I'm sure you have the same take.
Yeah, and to answer Drane's actual question, I would say that Michigan needs this win more. I mean, Penn State, their season is 0-5. They seem to prove themselves that they can win a game. Michigan is still trying to figure out what they are and who they are. Cade McNamara especially needs this win to prove that he is the guy at the University of Michigan, not to mention the fact that they have some sort of life. I mean, watching the Michigan game last week, you would have definitely seen a low point for the Michigan Wolverines offense until the end of the half. It felt like there was life in the stadium. Michigan hopes to keep that momentum.
Yeah, Michigan defeating Rutgers a week ago in a dramatic triple overtime game. Both teams come into today's game with questions at the quarterback position. Penn State has been rotating Will Levis and Sean Clifford at the quarterback position. Michigan made a switch last week, inserting Cade McNamara for Joe Milton, and we expect to see McNamara starting. And what are you looking for from Cade today?
From Cade, you're looking for the ability to read a defense and throw the ball into tight coverage. The speed and space offense has been a lot about drag routes and a lot about jet sweeps. I think Michigan's going to try to elevate that a little bit, seeing the success of Cade McNamara. So Cade's going to get a lot more responsibility this week, probably throwing those intermediate passes, and you got to see that from Cade, throwing on the run, throwing into tight coverage. You really want to see that from the young quarterback, who you hope is the guy that Jim Arbor has been looking for since he got here.
They just did the coin toss. I'm waiting for the official announcement. Michigan has won the coin toss, and they will defer to the second half. Ben Mason out there representing the team as the captain today. So Penn State will get the football first. Penn State's offense this year's had a decently solid season, but the big problem, they keep turning the ball over. 13 turnovers for Penn State to 4 takeaways for their defense, leaving them with a -9 turnover differential. Have also really struggled to protect the quarterback, allowing 20 sacks in 5 games. Whoever it is back there, Clifford or Levis, they have been under siege all season long. And a young receiving group, a lot of injuries at both the wide receiver and running back positions. Journey Brown, great running back for Penn State last season, had to medically retire in the offseason, unfortunately. And Pat Fryermuth, the great tight end for Penn State's been dealing with injuries. They lost K.J. Hamler to the draft in the offseason. So just a lot of turnover, a struggling offensive line, and a lot to prove for the Nittany Lions today.
Even then, so you would expect them, after Penn State's success last year, you expect them to show some sort of sign of what they were. I mean, Fryermuth is a huge loss, don't get me wrong, but 0-5 is a huge stretch.
Yeah. And that's the thing that's so confusing. If you're a Nittany Lion fan or a Wolverine fan, both of these programs perennially recruit top 10, top 15 classes. James Franklin's one of the best recruiters in the country. You can talk about his in-game tactics, his in-game coaching strategies. Whatever that happened to, he was one of the greatest recruiters in college football today. And Michigan football has that brand where they recruit top 10 classes almost every single year. But yet you enter, the week 6, one team is 2-3, the other team is 0-5. That simply just doesn't happen when teams have this amount of talent. And right now, the talent is not the fact that it's leading these teams to such poor seasons. It's a level of coaching. No, talk about James Franklin is in-game coaching strategies. It's been pretty bad this year.
No, same thing with the University of Michigan. You saw it early. It felt like they got off to a good start against Minnesota, but just teetered off, and nothing was going right as soon as basically after that game.
Well, here we go. Jake Moody puts down the football on the tee, and he will boot it away. Lamont Wade, the kick returner, back deep for Penn State. Some injuries to keep in mind for today. Michigan going to be without Cameron McGrone at the middle linebacker position, as well as kicker Quinn Nordine, wide receiver Giles Jackson, center Andrew Vistardis, and right tackle Jalen Mayfield in today's game. The Wolverines do have Kwity Paye and Ryan Hayes dressed, though, so we'll see how much we get to see them today.
Yeah, Kwity Paye, you can tell the difference at the level of defensive end and the defensive line without Kwity Paye. In Wisconsin and Michigan didn't have him, and in Rutgers, Michigan didn't have him. Kwity Paye can have a huge impact on that Wolverines defense today.
Especially facing a Penn State offensive line that has really struggled this year. Michigan has kicked Carlo Kemp out to the defensive end position in the absence of both Paye and Hutchinson. I presume he will stay there, but we have to wait for the first defensive series. Now they're finally ready for Moody to do the kickoff. He will be doing the place kicking as well as the kickoff duties today. He sends a high arcing kick, and Penn State's going to call for a fair catch right at the goal line, and they'll start at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, it's funny, Drain, watching warm-ups today. I was watching Jake Moody a lot. How is he doing? Kicking extra points, kicking field goals, and also kicking off. On 2 separate occasions, I watched him kick the ball out of bounds on kickoff. So obviously, his last time we saw him as a place kicker, he had a pretty poor performance against Minnesota. So that's a problem Michigan's had all year, is their kicking game, and that aspect of special teams has not been good. So it's going to be a big performance day from Jake Moody, see how he reacts to his first performance against Minnesota.
So the Penn State offense comes out for their first play of the game. Sean Clifford is the quarterback, and he's out there in the shotgun formation. He's got a couple tight ends at the line, 2 wide receivers out to the right, and he will give it off to a tailback up the middle for about 6 or 7 yards. That's a good first carry for Penn State. Kevon Lee gets that first carry. Dax Hill on the tackle.
Fantastic hole created on the, I think by the left tackle over there.
And Kwity Paye is out there for Michigan. Clifford, second snap, hands it off again, just straight up the middle. That will get about 4 yards and a Penn State first down on 2nd and 3 out to the 36-yard line.
Yeah, quick pace so far here for Penn State. We're going to see the impact that Cam McGrone has had in this Michigan defense. How is Michigan going to react without Cam McGrone, that general in the middle of the Michigan defense? We'll see how that comes out today.
Hinton and Jeter, the starting defensive tackles for Michigan. Paye and Kemp on the ends. Clifford takes the snap, and he will hold it. Now he's going to roll out to his right as some pressure starts to come. Rolling out, he's at the 30. Now he's going to try to fire across the field, and instead will just throw it away as he got chased out of bounds. Looked like Taylor Upshaw on the pursuit there for Michigan. That'll be 2nd down and 10.
Interesting. You don't always see that with the Don Brown offense. The zone blitz, as you saw it, everyone was covered in that, but there was still 5 men set, typical Don Brown stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, easily could have been a holding call against Chris Hinton there. It looks like he was coming off the edge on a stunt, might have looked like, and clearly was held, but no flag was thrown.
2nd and 10. Clifford's going to go up to the center. He's going to say something to Michael Manet, who's got the ball in his hands. Now he retreats to the shotgun formation, 3 wide receivers, and gives it off to, it looks like Lee again, who goes up the middle for a big hole out to the 45-yard line. That'll set up 3rd and about 1 yard upcoming.
Yeah, no, it's the best way to neutralize a really good pass rush is being able to establish a run. And so far, Penn State has done that. 3 attempts, probably already over 20 yards rushing. Been really effective with the running game.
Looked about 3 yards after contact, 2 there for Lee. Was hit by Michael Barrett about the 42, didn't go down until the 45. Now 3rd and 1, Penn State's going to keep it on the ground, and they'll get the 1 yard they need, not much more, but it'll move the chains. Kevon Lee continues to get all the carries thus far. That's now his 4th of the first 5 plays. Barrett with the stop, but the chains are moving.
Most importantly, they were just bullied on that defensive front. Michigan's got to get big up there if they're going to win.
Clifford comes with some tempo, 25 seconds on the play clock, and he's up to the line, but now checks the sidelines for the signals. Tight end to the right, and Lee to his left. He'll take the snap and drop back to pass. Going to fire on a slant route. Has it complete, bouncing off tacklers and with some room. Running down the field is Parker Washington. Cuts to the outside, now bounces off another tackler, and he goes out of bounds all the way at the 33. That'll be a 20-yard pickup.
Yeah, really poor tackling by 5-star Daxton Hill right there. He had a situation where he could have absolutely cleaned up the Penn State wide receiver, and he did one of those prime-time tackles where you're not wrapping up around the receiver and driving him to the ground. Arms is in. He was trying to blow the guy up and bounces off for a big play for Penn State.
Michigan runs safety Hunter Reynolds onto the field. He's going to be the deep safety on this play. Nittany Lions come up, another shotgun snap, and that'll be another handoff for Kevon Lee. Michigan bottles that one up pretty well, only about 2 yards on that play.
Yeah. Back to the great third down throw. I mean, Don Brown sent 6 guys after him, and no one was even close to the quarterback by the time the throw was there.
Yeah.
Your over-reliance on the blitz might cost Michigan today.
It's been a theme for Don Brown defense pretty much since he's been here. He lives and dies by man-to-man coverage, and he loves to send pressure. That's his thing.
Just Spate in on that tackle as Michigan's rotating on the defensive interior. Clifford takes another shotgun snap. Play action, going to fire on the slant route again. Has it complete again. That one's going to get down to the 15-yard line. Complete to Wilson. Another first down.
Another time, Don Brown sent 6 men over, and the quarterback found a quick slant route, which is there.
And Sean Clifford has been very effective at that. To neutralize the pressure and neutralize guys coming at you, like 5 or 6 guys, you got to get rid of the ball quickly, and Clifford's done that so far.
Yeah.
Now Clifford comes up to the line. Shotgun snap again, and hands it off to a running back. That's Kevon Lee. Has another big hole. That's about 9 or 10 yards on the ground. There will be just short of the first down. But now inside the 10-yard line, tackled at the 6 by Daxton Hill. But Penn State moving down the field at will right now.
Yeah, very nice play design. You guys well know my favorite play in all of football right now is the read option, and Sean Clifford did that perfectly. Quiddy Pay was an unblocked guy, but had to respect Sean Clifford. And in that situation, he gave it off to Lee, and Lee had a very, very nice run because Quiddy Pay had to be attention to that quarterback run.
And they give it off again, and he's going to go untouched into the end zone. Kevon Lee on his 7th carry of the drive walks into the end zone. A gaping hole there off the right side. Kemp totally sealed off, and Penn State gets a touchdown on their opening possession, and they'll send out Pinnegar for the extra point.
The exact same thing. They run that read option again, where John Ross has to respect the quarterback run and leaves the middle of the field wide open for Lee to just walk right in the end zone.
Sure,
that is a play design that just continuously works for teams that can run it successfully.
Sure, but even more importantly, Will Fry just mauled whoever was coming at him. There was nothing but open room on that play.
It's also been a
extra point is good.
Yeah, it's also been a reoccurring theme for the Michigan defense all year. They have had problems in the secondary. That's well documented. People know that. But this defensive line has been pretty poor for Michigan all year as well. I mean, in and out, Michigan's had a lot of injuries, Aiden Hutchinson, Quiddy Pay, but the interior defensive lineman has been a problem for Michigan the last 2 years.
Well, a lot of them are built like the Aaron Donald type. They're built to rush the passer, and there's not a lot of size on the Michigan defensive line, and that's been a problem. As you've seen, the Penn State running backs have been able to gash Michigan because they've been having open holes all day because Penn State's line is simply bigger than Michigan's.
You have to wonder about the effort level on that drive. Michigan is very lackluster and getting off the ball and easily pushed around by, again, a Penn State offensive line that really is struggling entering this game. Penn State gets 39 yards on 7 carries, almost 6 yards per carry on that drive. When you look at their rushing stats, really not a lot of success. Almost everyone at 4 yards per carry or less on the season. So really a change of pace for Penn State there to get chunks on the ground. And
that's the idea of blitzing early. You want to get your guys involved. You want to get them hyped up to play football. But if it doesn't work, it might simply, deflate them.
That's a tough thing to ask this Michigan defense right now, is to make adjustments. That is something they have not done literally this entire year. Maybe they have not done the last 5 years. So if they want to finally come back in this game, adjustments will have to be made. I'm very interested to see how Cade McNamara restart, or how he addresses his first start ever as a college football Division I Michigan quarterback. Coming in as a backup, you have a lot less pressure than you do as a starting quarterback. Everybody's favorite player, every single football team is a backup quarterback. Well, now you have the pressure of coming out for that first series. How is Cade going to react, and how is he going to be able to kind of take a grasp of this Michigan quarterback position?
My prediction, drag routes, lots of them.
That's what the Cade McNamara, I read an article today, or not today, a couple days ago, that was very interesting. What Cade does very well, he takes a lot of pride in reading defenses and reading schemes. That's something that Joe Milne really struggled with. But Cade McNamara says he has a notebook where he writes down and he practices and overlooks schemes that defenses are throwing at him, and he loves to study them so he can make certain reads, certain throws on certain routes that he knows is going to be open. where that might be the difference between him and Joe Millen. That's meant why he may have been more successful last week against Rutgers.
Oh, 100%. Watching the Rutgers game, you would see time and time again the guy Cade threw to was just coming open as soon as the zone concept ended. Rutgers runs the Seattle defense where it's cover 2 press bail. You saw oftentimes Cade McNamara threw the ball as soon as the gaps were opening. So you'd love to see that from Cade McNamara coming today.
That's the other aspect of quarterback. Everybody loves the quarterback that's big, tall, has a strong arm, but that's not even half the ball game. And Cade excels at that part of the game that, I'm not calling him Tom Brady here, but pre-snap quarterbacks tend to be more successful than quarterbacks who just have to rely on their arm talent. And Joe Millen did that a lot early, and Cade really excelled at that pre-snap reading defense, or pre-snap skill of reading defenses.
So Michigan will get ready to begin their drive. Kickoff is coming from Penn State. Michigan's normal returner, Giles Jackson, who ran one back for a touchdown last week, out with an undisclosed injury. Blake Corum is going to have a chance to run it back. Instead, he lets it go into the end zone. So Michigan will start from their own 25, and the mystery man of the week, Cade McNamara, redshirt freshman from Reno, Nevada, was the Gatorade High School Player of the Year in his senior season for the state of Nevada. Will come on out, 6'1", 205, 31 for 46 on the year, 334 yards, 5 touchdowns a week ago against Rutgers, looking to build on that.
That's not a bad stat line there, Drain.
Yeah.
That's not bad at all.
And he comes out with a running back to his left. Looks like Hassan Haskins. He's got 3 wide receivers. He'll take the snap, get ready to throw. Fires an out route towards a receiver, Ronnie Bell. Sidesteps a couple tacklers and then picks up a solid chunk of about 6 or 7 yards on first down.
That may have been the worst designed pre-snap blitz read that I've ever seen a defense ever give. So the corner blitz, the slot corner, pretended like he was going to a blitz and forced him to go back into man-to-man coverage, where Blake Corum was running a seam up the middle that was wide open. I mean, that was an absolute touchdown. You can't fake a guy off a blitz and act him for him to come back and do play action.
Handoff this time to Haskins up the middle for 4 or 5 yards just off the left side of the line there, and that'll pick up a Michigan first down. Haskins had a great week a week ago and has really emerged as the number 1 back for Michigan. Wolverines go hurry up here up to the line with 30 on the play clock. McNamara hikes it right away. Now he's going to fire out wide, bubble screen to Ronnie Bell. He'll go out of bounds after about 5 yards. Michigan working fast here.
Yeah, just to clarify again what I was talking about earlier, you should never have a guy faking a blitz and have him fall back into man-to-man coverage. He's already at a couple-step disadvantage. If a guy's running a fade like that, he's never going to catch up to it. But I do love this up-tempo offense. You start utilizing these more athletic wide receivers, Ronnie Bell, Blake Corum, get them out in space, let them do their thing.
Michigan back up to the line with 25 on the play clock. Now a wide receiver comes in motion. They're going to give it off. That is Roman Wilson. Can he turn the edge? Yes, he can, and he'll go out of bounds at the 45. A really late hit there from Penn State cornerback, it looked like, or rather that's middle linebacker Ellis Brooks. He'll be just short of the first down. 3rd and 1 upcoming at the Michigan 47.
Fantastic movement by Ben Mason on that play, getting the block right at the if you watch that play, you saw Penn State almost be there at the point of attack, and Ben Mason
and Eric
blocked out the place.
Blocks on that play.
So now 3rd down and 1. We'll see if Michigan can get short yardage here. They have struggled in short yardage situations this season, just 36.5% on 3rd downs as a team on the year. McNamara claps it twice, now hands it off. That's Blake Corum. He'll get an easy first down out to the 50-yard line. Or rather, Haskins carried that one. They continue to stick with him.
You know, that's a very tough block to make in all levels of football. When you're blocking the end-around jet sweep, you often see those are the plays where the end offensive linemen are getting holding calls, or tight ends are getting holding calls. So if you can make that block, you could almost make any other block that an offense is trying to have you make, because that's one of the toughest ones out there.
And McNamara is going to go out wide. Haskins in the Wildcat is going to take the snap, and he'll be tackled right away for a loss of 1 on the play. That did not work at all. Brought down by Hakeem Beeman.
You know, it's the same problem everybody has when they run the Wildcat. You lose a dynamic piece of your offense. You take away that ability to throw. What does the defense know you're going to do? They're going to run the ball. They're going to play 8 guys in the box and bring all 8 of them. They did that there, and they got a loss there for Michigan.
Good burst off the ball by Beeman, the backup defensive tackle, to get in the backfield for a loss of 1. 2nd and 11 from the Michigan 49, right about at midfield. 2 wide receivers out right, Two tight ends of the formation, and Haskins to the left of McNamara. Takes the snap, just fires another easy completion into Penn State territory to the 44. That'll go for a 7-yard pickup. Caught there by Eric All, and now it'll be 3rd and 4.
Great stick route by Eric All. Got great separation, cut at the exact perfect time to make that catch. Cade McNamara seems to be being very adept at reading these quick throws.
Now here comes Cade McNamara for 3rd down and about 3.5. Haskins to his left. Claps once, now checks to the sideline, and they're going to wait a little bit for new signals to come in. 15 on the play clock. They'll move Haskins to the right of McNamara.
Pressure coming off the left side of the defensive line for Penn State.
McNamara takes the snap and gives it off to Haskins, and just nothing going there. He'll surge forward for about a yard or two, but Michigan is going to be about 2 yards short. 4th down and 2 from the Penn State 42. This is probably 4-down territory.
Yeah, it seemed like that was a Michigan play the entire time. 3rd and 3, you're on the 43-yard line. You can afford to run the ball because you know it's 4th down territory. Obviously, you're trying to get a 1st down, but if you get the 4th and 1, 4th and 2 more manageable, you have a shot converting on a 1st down.
It also just looked like they called their bluff. Penn State almost looked like they were sending rushers and just immediately called back.
Second time they've done that.
So Michigan's going for it on 4th down. They got 10 on the play clock, 6:30 to go in the first quarter, trailing 7-0 from the Penn State 42-yard line. 4th down and 2. A receiver coming in motion. McNamara's got some time, throws over the middle, and that's incomplete. Receiver well covered there. It was intended for Cornelius Johnson, and Michigan's going to turn it over on downs.
Yep, they had trips on the bottom here on the left side of the field for the Wolverines, and all 3 Michigan players and trips were in man-to-man coverage, and Ronnie Bell ran a really, really nice dig route about 8 yards deep. He was wide open, and Cade McNamara just made the wrong read there. Throw it to Ronnie Bell, that's a guaranteed 1st down.
It looked to me that Penn State has a read on what they want, what Michigan wants to do on offense. There was an easy mountain swing that probably, if that was a designed mountain swing, you would have had. I think it was number 6. I can't recall who was on there. Would have been an easy 1st down. But they knew they were never going to. Penn State knew they were never going to the dig route. It wasn't going to happen. They knew that it was either the mountain swing, and if it wasn't there, they're going to throw it to the check down and completely stifle the Michigan offense.
So Michigan gets some decent yardage on that first drive. McNamara goes 4 for 5 for 25 yards, but Hassan Haskins only 8 yards on 4 carries, and the drive stalls out in PSU territory. Big story now with Penn State already up 7-0. Can Michigan's defense prove to be livelier here on the second possession after really just being run over by a steamroller on that first drive?
Yeah, and they're going to have to really shore up the interior defensive line. I mean, that's been one of the strengths for Michigan for a very long time. I mean, how many great defensive linemen have Michigan produced in the last, 10, 15 years? Where in the last 2 years, that's been one of the weakest parts of this Michigan defense. And when you have a team like Penn State who just established a run in that first half, you're going to keep running the ball until Michigan stops it. And once Michigan stops it, guess what? You change your offense, you start passing the ball. And Michigan, guess what? They have not been very good at defending the pass all year either. So it's a team that struggles to come back from behind. So if Michigan's want to stay in this ball game, they're going to have to start making stops early, and that's going to have to happen on this drive.
Yeah, exactly. But Michigan also has to get off the tendency to blitz. It's opening up way too many quick passing routes for the Penn State Nittany Lions. It's gonna have to go. It's gonna go against nature, but you don't always have to bring all the dogs in.
I talked about this in the Wisconsin game, and it's so hard because that is the nature of Don Brown defense. That is something they work on continuously at practice. So when you continuously to work on man-to-man coverage and sending 5, 6, 7 guys, and all of a sudden you switch a game plan and expect them to run zone coverage, you can't teach a dog to run up a tree when he's been running on the ground his entire life. You can't expect Michigan defense to start being great in zone coverage when they've been running man-to-man coverage consistently for the last 5, 6, 7 years, and it's a scheming defense that they practice every single day. It's hard to teach somebody to do something else when they've been practicing the same thing continuously.
Oh, exactly. But there seems to be no attempt to disguise it whatsoever. I can tell from up here that they're blitzing every single time because Daxton Hill is not in the box. If Daxton Hill's not in the box, they're probably blitzing because they're not going to use Daxton Hill because they don't like to use Daxton Hill on blitz. It's their best cover.
Yep.
Yes,
absolutely.
Well, Penn State's offense comes back out for the second possession of the game. Clifford 2 for 3 for 36 yards on the first series, and Kevon Lee 7 carries, 39 yards and a touchdown on the first possession. Clifford looks at the sideline. And he's set up in the shotgun, takes the snap, and is going to fire out to a receiver who's wide open and goes forward. The ball's loose. Michigan picks it up. They're running down the sideline. They're going to go into the end zone for a touchdown. That's Jamon Green. We'll see if the Penn State receiver was down or not. But Michigan, for the moment, has a touchdown.
Sure looks like that's a fumble and a score to me.
Let's get that replay up there.
We're going to wait to see this one.
Very nice play design there for the Nittany Lions. They run a 7-yard out. The receiver gets the ball, takes a couple steps, makes a football move. Now the question is, does he roll over on Green when he fumbles the ball, or did his knee touch the ground first?
Here's the first replay on the Jumbotron. It was Parker Washington who made the catch. He definitely has possession of the ball.
Oh, that's a fumble. That's a strip.
His knee is never on the ground. It looks like that's a fumble and a touchdown for me. Another question you have to look at is Jamon Green. Is his knee on the ground when he recovers the football? Because that would stop the advance.
He'd also have to be touched, though.
Not college football.
That ball's out right there when his knee has. That looks like a fumble to me. Let's take a look again. Where's the ball out? You can't see from that angle.
Yep, I think you're going to get a fumble, recovery by Michigan, but no advance on the return. It looks like
take a look at this one.
Looks like Jamon Green's knee is
But again, we can't
down.
see when the ball is out because Daxton Hill's body right there is blocking our vantage point. Let's take a look at this angle. This might be the best one. But again, the knee's down, but you can't see the football. I mean, right there, his knee is down, but the football maybe is in his arms, maybe it isn't. I can't.
It looks out.
Yep. Yeah.
Remember, the call
on the field really looms large right here.
Okay, so the football is out. Right there, it is out.
And his knee is not down yet. I think that is going to be a fumble. And I think it's going to be a recovery by Michigan. But Green's knee is down when he recovers the ball, so he cannot advance. I think it's going to be Michigan's ball on the 40-yard line.
We'll see.
Well, they've got two questions here. Is the ball out? Because they're looking at the ball.
Cannot tell.
But right there, they're circling the football. It's close to his arms, but it's tough to tell if he actually has possession there. And then you've got the second question. Is Jamon Green down when he picks it up? And it sure looks like he was down. So I agree that looks like it'll be a Michigan ball at about the 40-yard line. But either way, if this does stand, that's another huge turnover by Penn State, who entered the game committing 9 more turnovers than their opponent through the first 5 games, and now on the verge of another cost. Here we go. And they're saying Penn State receiver Washington was down. No fumble. Nittany Lions keep the ball.
Looks to me like the refs are confusing the calf with the knee.
If the calf is down, the calf is part of the knee. That is, he is down by contact. The calf is on the ground. That means the runner is grounded. The calf is a part of one of the aspects that if the calf is on the ground, the player is down. But I agree with Drain. I don't think we had an indisputable evidence
I would have
to
just
overturn that one.
left the call on the field, but it was definitely close. So that's all we can say at this point. Regardless, 2nd and 3 now for Penn State. They get a huge mulligan, and they're at the 49-yard line. Clifford takes the snap, gives it off to Lee, trying to bounce outside, and he'll surge forward just enough for the first down into Michigan territory. And again, you talk about Michigan this year, very few takeaways, and they've really, just have struggled to take the ball away. And any time they get in those 50-50 reviews, they haven't gone their way.
Mm-hmm. It's hard to get takeaways when all your supposed guys who could take the ball away through the air are blitzing the quarterback at this moment.
Regardless, Clifford now shotgun, 5:35 to go in the first quarter. Penn State 7, Michigan 0. Michigan's defense looking for some stops. Clifford takes the shotgun snap, going to swing it out to a receiver in the flat. Picks up a few yards, and then Michigan brings him down. That's the tight end, Brenton Strange.
Yeah, just no presence in the Michigan secondary in the slot right now. Penn State is just absolute feeding off of those 5-yard, 4-yard outs where there is nobody in Michigan covering that slot area. So far, just been a really efficient football game for Penn State on the offensive side of the ball.
Now Clifford comes out again, 20 on the play clock. takes the snap and play action to Lee. Now swings it out to another receiver in the flat. Just an easy screen, and they continue to get 6-7 yards there as Parker Washington, the man who almost fumbled a minute ago, gets a first down out to the left side.
Again, they send 5 people, leaving one guy in the slot completely open.
That was just really bad pre-snap formation for the Wolverines. 3 guys on the left side in trips formation for Penn State with only 1 man in press coverage. Easy.
And there's a bad handoff there between Clifford and Lee, and Clifford had to keep it as they kind of banged into each other, and then he just stumbles forward for about a yard or 2 on that play. 2nd and long upcoming for Penn State at the Michigan 33 or so.
Yeah, really bad read there for Sean Clifford in the read option. Probably should have handed it off to the running back, but he kept it himself, and Michael Barrett was right there. Good play by Barrett by staying true and keeping that quarterback honest.
Now Clifford again up to the line with Lee to his left. 2 tight ends at the line and 2 receivers out wide to the right. Clifford takes the snap. He's going to look again on a screen route. That's a good pass breakup by Jamon Green. Gets his hand in there, slaps it away, and now it'll be a 3rd and long upcoming. 3rd and 8 from the 33.
That was an interesting play design by Penn State. I was not sure if they were going to be running that play action there. It looked like it was a bunch, and I thought for sure that was going to be a play action. Nope, straight pass game, straight slant.
Yeah, just a typical pick route there. You got one guy running the flat, the other guy coming in the slant. Hopefully the guy running the flat comes in contact with the defender who was covering the slant. Jamon Green was right on it. Good defense there by Michigan, 3rd and 8. Big play here for the Wolverines.
4 receivers and a running back to help pass block for Clifford. And no, they give it off to the running back, Kevon Lee, and he's going to get a big gain there, but not enough for the first down. Looks like he'll be a yard short. But on 3rd and 8, Penn State keeps it on the ground. They get 7. Now it's 4th down and 1 upcoming, and Penn State is going to put Will Levis onto the field. Backup quarterback comes running out. He's the rushing quarterback for these Wildcat-type situations. 4th and 1, Michigan. He needs a big play right here. 3:12 to go in the first quarter. They've got too many men on the field, and Will Levis didn't see it. Michigan runs a man off late there on the play. 3:05 to go. Will Levis takes the snap, and now a flag comes down. That might be an illegal motion on Penn State. That would be a costly penalty.
Huge. Big mistake there with Penn State. You cannot make that penalty on 4th and 1.
False start is the official ruling. So now that goes from 4th and 1 to 4th and 6, and you probably have to put the field goal team on the field now.
And just the initial read off that play, it looked like that was going to be a Penn State touchdown. I mean, the left side of the field was wide open. You had a one-on-one matchup between the end guy in the line of scrimmage for the defense and the end guy in the line of scrimmage for the offense. And the end guy in the line of scrimmage for the offense was Vincent Gray, the quarterback. That was going to be a touchdown. The tight end's going to make that block 9 times out of 10.
So this will be a 49-yard attempt. Penn State puts out their long field goal kicker, Jordan Stout. He's 1 for 3 on the season, all from 50-plus. This is almost a 50-yard attempt. Snap out, hold is good. The kick is up, and it is no good. Looked to be wide to the right, and Michigan holds by the skin of their teeth on this drive. And it will stay 7-0 Penn State.
Again, it's just the mental mistakes that are costing Penn State early on in the season. You talked about the turnover problems during in the pregame, and turnovers are mental mistakes. You can't fumble, you can't turn the ball over, and you cannot have a false start, a legal procedure. You can't have any pre-snap penalty in a 4th and 1, 4th and 2 situation, forcing Penn State to have to kick a 49-yard field goal instead of trying to convert on a 4th and 1 play that to us looked like it was going to be successful. Those are mental mistakes you cannot have if you want to be a competitive, good football team.
Correct, but if you're a Penn State, you probably feel pretty good about this drive. You got what you wanted out of Michigan. You showed you could run on them. You didn't get the points. You didn't get the points, but you did show you can run all over their defense even when they're blitzing you. I mean, credit to a guy I want to give credit out right now is Andrew Vistardis, the center, was routinely getting leverage over hitting all day on the defense. Looking great guy, great name, and even better blocking.
Yeah, and when you leave a drive, I mean, yards doesn't win football games. You don't win the football game by having more yards than the opposing team. You win a football game by getting points. So whenever you leave a drive without points, you're never happy. But they have established that they have been the more powerful team in the trenches so far in this game, and obviously that's going to be in play moving on forward in this game.
Oh, most definitely. And yards don't win football games, but yards do scare defenses.
But here's a big moment for Michigan. They get a bit of a break on 4th down there and then a missed field goal. They will have the football on their own 32-yard line. They moved the ball decently well that first series before running out of steam in Penn State territory and turning it over on a 4th and short. McNamara 4 for 5 on the first drive, and it's a big opportunity for him. If he can march the offense down the field, get a touchdown, this game will feel a bit closer than it is right now at 2:32 remaining in the first quarter, and a 7-0 Nittany Lion lead.
Yeah, you're going to have to start establishing the run for the Wolverines. Jack Charbonnet, a guy that Miller really likes over here, has been a running back that's been pretty effective. Hassan Haskins has been effective as well. You get those two going in the running game, obviously that just opens up the offense entirely. So we'll see if they can get the running game going and give these opportunities where Cade McNamara can start making plays with his arm.
Yeah, he seems to be Cade McNamara seems to be acclimated. He's got his screens and his drags. He's in rhythm. Get your running game going. Get these play action set and try to take a couple shots towards the middle of the field.
Penn State breaks the huddle and they come out for their defense. Michigan still huddling up on the far side of the field, waiting to send the offense out. Referees standing over the ball. We're still in a media timeout at the moment. Michigan, no fans at the game today. Parents not allowed in, unlike the previous 2 games, but even more cutouts than previous in both end zones now, and not much wind and a pretty good temperature for today's game, given that it is late in November. Ann Arbor, 43 degrees. Feels like 37, but with winds at only 10 miles an hour.
Hey, you get 43 degrees in the state of Michigan at the end of November, it feels like it's 75 out. That's not bad for us Michigan people.
So here we go to begin the second Michigan drive. Cade comes out in the pistol. He's got a running back behind him. Looks like Haskins. Ben Mason offset to the right, and a delayed handoff, and here comes the running back right up the middle, breaking a tackle, bouncing outside is Haskins. There he goes! 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, and he's brought down at the 9-yard line. Hassan Haskins, a monster carry for Michigan, and now it'll be 1st and goal.
The good old reverse play action. You fake like you're throwing a wide receiver screen, and you give it a draw up the middle. You separate that front 7 for the Penn State Nittany Lions. You get those linebackers to bite on the screen, forcing them to go left, go right towards that play action screen, and you hand up the middle where the middle is wide open, and Haskins just breaks off a long run. Really nice play design there for the Wolverines.
Also, Chuck Falaga with the great block with the one guy who probably had a play on Haskins right there.
Now McNamara gives it off. It's Haskins again, and he carries tacklers forward to the 5-yard line. He broke one tackle on that long run and then breaks another one there to get to the 5. Now 2nd and goal. Michigan's got to have a touchdown on this drive.
Yeah, toughest spot here for any offense. When you're 1st and 9 on a goal line carry, that's one of the hardest ways to convert a first down. Not much space in the back of the end zone. You can't convert the ball deeply. So let's see what Michigan can do here with limited space.
Another jumbo set. Haskins offset to the right. McNamara will keep it himself. He's going to roll out to the side, and now he's going to try and run for it, and makes a little juke and then gets tackled down close to the 2. It'll be 3rd and goal from really the shadow of the goal line right here.
Looks like it was a design flip to 83.
Yeah, they had Eric All in the end zone, but he was well covered. So McNamara tried to improvise.
Yeah, one of the situations, 3rd and 2, I could possibly see Harbaugh going for it regardless here. So you have a chance to run the ball twice. You can't afford to lose yardage here. That puts you in a field goal situation.
45 seconds remaining in the first quarter. 7-0 Penn State. Michigan knocking on the door at the 2-yard line. They've got Ronnie Bell in motion. They'll give it off to Haskins, and he runs into the end zone for a Michigan touchdown. Hassan Haskins, and with 30 seconds left in the first quarter, the Wolverines are a moody extra point away from tying it up.
Great.
Go for it, Randy.
Beautiful pull block and trap block there from Eric All, coming from the right tight end position, running that zone split block where he kicks out that left defensive end for Penn State, leaves the hole wide open for Hassan Haskins That is the other aspect of the tight end position that people forget about. Receiving is important, but blocking is far more important at the tight end position. And Eric Hall delivers a beautiful block for the Wolverines.
Out comes Jake Moody, and he fits the extra point through. So in the late stages of the first quarter, it's 7-7.
Even more so, you were looking at. You may have been looking at the tight end. I was looking at the defensive backs. I saw early that they had Marquise Wilson out towards the steps covering nobody. They were trying to bet against the jet sweep or the mountain swing. It didn't happen. Jim Harbaugh used a great use of the motion to keep them honest, keep the guy out there so there was one less guy in the box for Hassan Haskins.
Yeah, almost using Ronnie Bell sort of as a decoy. He can, like you said, moving around in motion. He started off traveling right, stops, goes back, traveling left. You're almost using him as a decoy, having the defense to make sure you're keeping the defense honest and having respect Ronnie Bell as a running threat. It's a good point, Miller. You have another dynamic added to the offense, and then you put the cherry on top with the great execution of that trap block there by Eric All, and a great job for Hassan Haskins finding the hole. Just a very well executed goal line play for the Wolverines. Ties this game up and then shifts the momentum back to the Wolverines.
Now Moody will do the kickoff. Lamont Wade and Parker Washington back deep for Penn State. 7-7 game, and Michigan has new life. Total yardage pretty even, 107 to 102 in favor of the Nittany Lions. This will be their third drive upcoming. Another fair catch called for by Wade, and Penn State will take it from the 25.
Washington called for the fair catch in the end zone. The ball will be put in play at the 25-yard line. First and 10, Penn State.
So Michigan's defense has been battered so far in this game, allowing 107 yards on 17 plays. That's 6.3 yards per play against so far. Going to need a stronger effort here on the third drive.
Again, defensive line is going to have to shore things up. You're going to have to make sure you're having that gap responsibility where you have that hole, that gap in the defensive line or at the line of scrimmage that you cannot be moved from. Once that happens, you have that good gap responsibility. Running the ball turns into a much, much harder task.
Clifford, shotgun, as he's been pretty much all game long. Takes the snap and will hand it off, and big tackle right there up the middle. That looked like the sophomore Christopher Hinton there on the interior to bring down Lee after a gain of just 1 yard on the handoff.
Yeah, I've been beating this drum for a long time. Christopher Hinton is one guy that I really, really like. He's almost got the skills to be an edge rusher, but also interior defensive lineman. But he's just a really strong, agile, big guy that can really turn into a really, really good interior defensive lineman for Michigan. He's kind of had a tough task so far. This is his first year starting as that interior defensive lineman, but he's got a lot of raw potential. Could be a really good piece for the Wolverines.
I totally agree. Reminds me a lot of Doster Gorshow from Miami. Great interior rusher is what I've noticed from Chris Hinton a lot. I agree with you, Andy.
That'll do it for the first quarter. We will head to a commercial timeout for the television as the teams will retreat to their huddles. End of the first quarter. Our score, Penn State 7, Michigan 7. You're listening to Michigan football on WCBN Sports.
You know, one thing I have to give this individual credit for the Wolverines, Joe Milton on that sideline. It doesn't seem like he's just sitting around, moping around, beating himself up too hard for losing starting position. He's still active on the sideline. He's still helping things out. He's doing that role as a backup quarterback by being that second mind from that quarterback position that can find different things that the defenses are giving you. And I think he's had a great attitude, and that's something you really like to see out of an individual who just lost his job.
We're being told that Cade McNamara's shoulder is being worked on the sideline. Apparently he tweaked it on that second down and goal scramble. Now he walks out onto the field where Dan Villari and Joe Milton are throwing footballs right now. McNamara's throwing shoulder was the one he hit the ground contact on that scramble.
Be interesting to see how that ball still pops. He was really good at reading, but arm strength has not been K. McNamara's forte. I'm interested to see what happens when he gets back out there, or if.
It seems like Cade is going back to the locker room.
Yep, now he is headed to the locker room, and it'll be Milton back out there on the next drive.
That's the problem with having your quarterback run so much. I mean, Dylan McCaffrey had that problem continuously when he was at Michigan. He broke his shoulder or he broke his collarbone, on one play. And on the other time, he had that really bad concussion against Wisconsin. Quarterbacks need to be taught to get out of bounds or slide in a position where they're confronted against a bigger, stronger linebacker, defensive back, doesn't matter. Quarterbacks get hit hard, and when they get hit hard, a lot of times they get hurt. You have to be safe. You have to protect your body. I know you're a gamer. I know you want to win, but you have to be smart. You have to think about the long-term success of you on the field in comparison to your backup quarterback. That's a tough situation for the Wolverines. Hopefully Cade is okay, but as I just praised Joe Millen, he was ready for his time to be recalled, and if he gets back on the field, hopefully he can take advantage of that situation.
Yeah.
And it's, this is going to be a big moment. Obviously, Michigan's on defense right now, but Cade McNamara off to a nice start to this game, and Michigan's offense seemed to have some life, and now all of a sudden, just like that, you're back in a situation where the Michigan offense may have a new signal caller under center.
And you're right, Drain. It did seem like there was a little bit of a more, what's the word I'm trying, more of a momentum, more of an exciting feeling having Cade back on the field. He brought a lot of energy to this team in the second half against Rutgers. It is disappointing not to have him on the field and to see him going in the locker room because, like you said, and you said very well, Drain, they had this energy to them. They had this excitement when McNamara is on the field.
So we're getting ready now for the start of the second quarter. Penn State has broken their huddle, and the referee's coming over to tell Michigan that they need to put the players on the field. 2nd down and 9 is the situation after that nice run stop by Chris Hinton on the final play of the second quarter. And again, Michigan team, as we talk about McNamara, they've dealt with injuries all season long. They finally get Kwity Paye and Ryan Hayes back today, and now you still have the Hutchinson injury, the McGrone injury, Giles Jackson out today.
Jalen
Mayfield as well. So Michigan and Penn State, too, both have dealt with a lot of injuries this season. In part, the reason these teams are struggling on the year. Clifford in the shotgun. 3 receivers, a tight end, and a running back out there as the personnel. Clifford runs up to the line and says something to the right guard, Mike Miranda. And now he'll take the snap and give it off to a running back. And again, that looks like Lee, who picks up maybe another yard. Actually, that's Keziah Holmes. Josh Ross, the Michigan leading tackler, makes the stop there. And now a 3rd and long. Big opportunity for Michigan to get off the field.
Interesting call on 2nd down. They were wide blitzing, and yet they audible to an outside zone run, which was odd.
Michigan struggling to get set up now. They put their 3 down linemen, rushers in a standing and formation off the side. Now Kwity Paye bends down, puts a hand in the dirt. Clifford takes the snap, pressure comes off the edge, and he floats it to no one in particular. And that's going to be an incompletion and a Penn State 3 and out, the first really positive defensive series for Michigan.
Yeah, what did it say pregame about the impact that Kwity Paye can have on the field? 3rd and 9, the blindside rusher, Kwity Paye gets almost a free path to quarterback, breaks off that left tackle, and disrupts that path there for Sean Clifford. Like I said, Kwity Paye is one of the best players on this Michigan ball club. He could be a 1st, 2nd round pick. Having him back on the field for the Wolverines is such a huge impact. Huge play them in Michigan, getting the ball back. Here we go.
Jordan Stout, the punter out there for Penn State. Mike St. Ristel back deep. Michigan comes after it, just barely getting away as Stout, but that's a wobbler and not a very good punt at all. Going to bounce at the 42 and go out around the 38-yard line. Not much on that one for Jordan Stout. Michigan will have very good field position as the offense comes out here for their 3rd series.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Andy. Kwity Paye had a free rush. You saw me pointing that out. They had made no attempt to even stop it. Kwity Paye is a top 25 guy on my board at this moment.
So Joe Milton comes out for the Michigan offense, and he's joined by Chris Evans in the backfield. Receivers Bell and Johnson out to the left. Eubanks, the tight end, to the right, and Mason as well in the formation. Milton started the season at quarterback, was replaced a week ago. We'll see how he does here, and predictably it's a 1st down handoff to Chris Evans, and he's got a hole! And all the way out to the 50-yard line, a great shoestring tackle made there. Trying to see the number. That looked like Lamont Wade, who brings him down from behind. Maybe a touchdown-saving tackle for Penn State.
Yeah, a good way to get Milton comfortable Safe plays, nice runs, short runs, read options, design quarterback runs, maybe some slants, some curls, plays that are high percentage plays that can get him comfortable in the game.
Milton shotgun again, and he'll hand it off again. And there's another big hole off the right side. Shaking a tackler is Evans as he scampers close to the first down marker. That's a 8-yard pickup. Had a lineman out in front of him as well. That looked like Mason was the one that came off the side there as the lead blocker leading the way. And Michigan will go with tempo in the formation with 27 on the play clock. Milton takes the snap immediately. 2nd and 2, handoff to Evans. Not much there, and now it's a 3rd and short.
Yeah, that's the type of play that I don't like the running back reading there. When it's short, 2nd and short yardage should go, 3rd and short yardage should go. You're not trying to make that Le'Veon Bell type of stutter step to find the hole. Just power through for 1 or 2 yards, get the first down, reset the chains. I don't like that stutter step in that situation.
3rd and 2, Milton comes up again to the formation, shotgun. Haskins now the lone setback. They'll give it off to him, and he'll be brought down from behind. Maybe a loss of a yard there, and now Michigan gets stuck in the muck. And another big decision to make here on 4th down. There's a huddle going on that looks like the special teams unit, and it is. Michigan's going to send Brad Robbins out there, and a really disappointing end to the drive. And also rather telling that Joe Milton does not attempt to pass on this series.
That's just a really, really unfortunate way to end your drive. You have 2 phenomenal runs. You get down to 2nd and 1. And again, you have that starter step where you lose a yard on 2nd and 1, and on 3rd and 2, a guy from the opposite side of the line of scrimmage chases down and makes a play.
So here's Brad Robbins, the punter for Michigan. He boots this one. Looks like a decent punt. That's going to go out of bounds at around the 15, I think. So it should be inside the 20. Yeah, they do mark it at the 15-yard line. And that's where Michigan will give it over to Penn State for the Nittany Lions' 4th drive of the game. Yeah.
Watching Michigan on that offense, nothing says confidence in your quarterback like an inside zone run on 3rd and 3, I think it was. It's just unfortunate to see Michigan. If they're going to win and they have Joe Milton out there against a really good Penn State team, let's not forget, just because they're 0-5 doesn't mean they're not a good team. They are going to have to use him to his fullest capabilities. They can't try to limit what his mistakes might be. They have to maximize his potential.
We also got to realize Joe Milton, another huge aspect of his game, is he's such a good rusher himself.
Exactly.
They utilizes him in the Minnesota game. I know I talked about this in the Wisconsin game. They utilize him almost as that Cam Newton guy where you had direct snaps, they had designed quarterback rushes where you led gaps specifically for Joe Milton, and we really haven't seen that much since that first game against Minnesota, and it was so effective in that game. Why not continue to try that against an 0-5 Penn State team? You can run that play on 2nd and 1. Try to run that play on 3rd and 2. They don't run it at all there, and it stalls the drive.
We've got the what year is it on the Jumbotron. Jurassic Park was the #1 film in theaters, and Whitney Houston, the Bodyguard soundtrack, the #1 album. The year is 1993 for those playing at home.
Did you guys know that?
I was guessing 92, so I was off by a year.
I had no clue.
Anyway, Michigan defense, it will be really an interesting thing to watch in this next drive. How do they build on that last series, where was their first productive series, 2 good run stops and some pass rush on 3rd down? Do they translate that here to the 4th drive?
Work hard to get Pay his mismatches. Try to stack him with the defensive linemen if they can. Try to see if they can if they can shift the defense at all. Try to get him those quick lanes to the quarterback. If he's going against a big guy, I think 73, he's just not going to win those battles all the time. He doesn't, even with his bend.
Yeah, you got to continue to utilize that pressure when you get to Sean Clifford. Sean Clifford hasn't been a successful quarterback through Penn State. You continue to get pressure in his face, not making those easy 6-yard, 7-yard slants and curl routes. You cause havoc in that defense. You tend to get better results. You continue doing that gap responsibility. They haven't done that this game until last drive. The gap responsibility was really well executed for the Wolverines. Again, front seven's got to establish a tone. They did it last drive. See if they continue on this drive.
Penn State's offense breaks the huddle and heads on out there. Michigan puts the defense on the field as well. Looks like Kemp, Hinton, and Pay, perhaps only 3 down linemen on this first possession, or first play of the possession for Michigan. Ben Van Sumeren out as a linebacker along with Adam Shibley and Josh Ross. Vincent Gray, Jamon Green, the corners. Hunter Reynolds. That's Daxton Hill as well as the safeties.
Looks
and
like
Michael Barrett as well.
The blitz here.
Clifford takes the snap. He's going to swing it out to a wide receiver on the far side of the field. That's Parker Washington. He'll pick up a yard or 2. Nice tackle by Jamon Green to spin him out of bounds.
That could have been a big gash. The right hole opened up. Michigan sent their blitzer, their cornerback, and their one guy who was out there. It was one-on-one, and luckily Michigan got the win.
Yeah, and those are some of the situations that you are happy with as a defensive team. You have a one-on-one block, and you have a free rusher, a free tackler. That's one-on-one with the receiver catching the screen. Those are situations you had to expect your defense to make.
3-yard gain on first down. Clifford up to the line. Now he'll say something to the running back to his left. 4 receivers out wide, and they will. No, Clifford's going to keep it. Fires on a slant route, complete right at the 25. I think that'll be a yard short of the first down.
Man, Michael Barrett just laid an absolute lick on Sean Clifford there.
Yeah, he was definitely under siege, and now here we go again. 3rd and 1. Penn State's going to put the short yardage package on the field, which includes Will Levis at the quarterback position. We did not get to see him actually snap it on that attempted 4th and 1 because of a false start. But here he is, short yardage, 10:55 to go in the second quarter, 7-7 tie at the Big House in Ann Arbor. Levis takes the snap, going to try to run off the side to the right. He'll get the first down, not a ton more, but they'll move the chains for Penn State.
Yeah, just a really nice job. Penn State had everybody on the line of scrimmage except for one split wide receiver. So what that essentially turned into was 9 one-on-one blocks. And Penn State won those for 2 yards and got the first down. That's something that a lot of defenses know. You're in that package, that short package that Cleef is in, they're going to run the football. But they made the blocks and got the first down.
Clifford back out onto the field. 2 wide receivers to the right, running back left, and Clifford's going to throw it again. He's got a man wide open on a slant route. That's Parker Washington again, reversing the field, bouncing off several tacklers. Didn't really get any yards, but did a lot of dancing there at the 41-yard line. And, man, Sean Clifford continues to just love Parker Washington today. 6 catches already for Washington out of 8 total completions. We still have not seen a pass caught by Jahan Dotson, the other receiver for Penn State, and they just keep hitting Washington on the slants. Clifford up to the line in a hurry. 20 on the play clock. And he takes the snap, and he'll hand it off. Nothing there for the running back, Kevon Lee. Good job up the middle by Mozzie Smith out onto the field now for Michigan at the defensive tackle spot to plug that one.
Yeah, another high-key sophomore recruit, Mozzie Smith. Some websites had him as a 5-star. Most websites had him as a high 4. Mozzie Smith, another guy that could be a really big plug in that defensive line. A guy that just can sit in the hole, plug up that offensive line, plug up those gaps, has a lot of skills. Mozzie Smith is another guy that I'm really excited about.
2nd down and 11 for the Nittany Lions. We still have not seen Penn State attempt to throw the ball down the field. Clifford takes the snap. Pressure comes. He gets hit. There's the first throw down the field, and it's going to drift high and way out of bounds. 3rd down upcoming, and Clifford got hit very low on that play. No flag, but he is down and he is hurt, grabbing what looks like his left leg.
Yeah, really nice coverage here by Vincent Gray. I'm kind of surprised to see that's their first attempt down the field. As it looks like Cade McNamara is running out of the locker room right now, back onto the field for the Wolverines.
And so right as Michigan might be getting a quarterback back, Penn State's got one on the field. This game has really been unfortunate for both sides, and Clifford really looks hurt. They've got medical personnel out there. We don't like to speculate injuries, but he is still laying on the field, unbuckling his helmet. Now they're going to try to pull him up.
Yeah, he's clearly experiencing a lot of pain right now, too. Looks like he just got rolled up on.
Yeah, Taylor Upshaw right there, number 91. Yeah. Now he's going to get up. He's on his feet, walking gingerly. That's good to see. Have to think Will Levis will come in for a couple plays while they take him off to the sideline.
Yeah, under his own power.
McNamara is throwing right now, right in front of us. He's at the Michigan 38. looks pretty decent right now.
He's got some zip in the ball right now. He's looking good.
Yeah. But I don't know. Back to that play earlier. You looked at it was the one deep shot of the game. Michigan's not the team you want to throw deep on. You don't want to throw deep on a guy on someone that's blitzing you all game because you're going to need that time to develop.
I agree.
But they got the one-on-one they wanted.
Michigan has had a clear deficiency this year in covering the deep ball. I mean, Michigan State, they made Rocky Lombardi look like the next Tom Brady in the deep game where they had multiple defensive pass interference or defensive holding calls. And how many deep balls did MSU throw that game? 15 plus, 20 plus?
Sure.
And that's the best offensive performance MSU's had all year. Michigan has not done a very good job at covering the deep ball. And when you get in those one-on-one situations, that's where you see a lot of defensive holding calls, a lot of pass interference calls.
Yeah, but also the way to beat Michigan currently, teams have been doing this is the bubble screens, is the getting people in space, but away from the rushes that are coming in, not letting the play develop too long to where people are going to make it back up.
A lot of fade routes don't last longer than 3 or 4 seconds. Fade routes, I mean, simply it's a 3-step drop for the quarterback. By the time you're finished with a 3-step drop, that usually only takes about 3 or 4 seconds, your wide receiver's already right about 8-9 yards, and you're leading them 10-15 yards past that. So that's a fade route that's going 25 yards. It only takes a 3-step drop that takes approximately 30 seconds. That is not a lot of time where the offensive line has to block and contain the defensive lineman or the blitzers coming.
Exactly. So when you're running when you're playing Michigan, you want to take that blitz, try to get those bootlegs out there, and get the guys open in space. That's how you should ideally tackle someone that's blitzing as much as Michigan does.
Well, on the Jumbotron, we received some very distressing news. Carlo Kemp could not recognize the Bee Gees from a photograph. And the Name the 70s graphic there on the Jumbotron. This long medical timeout does give Penn State a lot of time to decide what they're going to do with whoever is out on the field at quarterback when they break the huddle. It is Will Levis, and Sean Clifford is trotting gingerly off to the sideline. He's sort of walking around at the Penn State 20-yard line, standing with a couple trainers over there.
Yeah, it's always nice when someone goes down to knee injury. Seeing him walk off on his own power is always a good first initial sign.
So it'll be 3rd and 11 upcoming for Penn State with Levis now on the field, and he's not a quarterback they trust to throw the ball a ton. He's got 4 wide receivers, though. This is a big situation again for the Michigan defense to try and get off the field. He takes the snap, and he's going to try and scramble for it himself, and he's not going to get close. Gets about 4 or 5 yards back, but it'll be 3rd and 6 upcoming, and out comes the punt team. Carlo Kemp on the tackle.
Yeah, we talked about the lack of confidence that Jim Harbaugh had in Joe Milton to throw the ball. Will Levis is in a 3rd and 11 situation right there, and they just ran a QB draw. Clearly, there is a lack of confidence that Levis can throw the ball. I'm sure James Franklin and the rest of that Penn State staff is very eager to see if Sean Clifford can come back in this game because there's a clear lack of confidence in Levis.
Low snap for Stout, the punter, and he boots it away. Mike Ristel stands at his 11. That's a good punt. And Michigan will be backed up, and we'll see who comes out onto the field for Michigan at quarterback. Milton looks to be in the huddle. See if McNamara is in the huddle as well. Yep, he just joined the huddle, so we'll see who emerges from it. 8:20 to go in the second quarter. Our score, Michigan 7, Penn State 7. Milton will go out there to start the series. McNamara is standing there next to Jim Harbaugh. Harbaugh and McNamara walk on to the sideline.
Yeah, I think McNamara expected to be back out on the field. He was running running out there to be on the field, and then Jim kind of pulled him away. Interesting.
Milton will start in the shotgun. He's got 5 wide receivers. He takes the snap, 4-man rush for Penn State, feels a bit of pressure, throws it to Ronnie Bell, got it complete at the 20. Bell cuts it back, reversing field, 25-30, evading tacklers, and he's all the way out to the 33-yard line. A great catch and run there from Ronnie Bell.
That's the one guy I've wanted to see more involved in the Michigan offensive game plan was Ronnie Bell. He's just such a skilled receiver with yards after the catch potential. He is so athletic. You give him the ball in space, he can make a lot of good things happen for your offense.
Michigan doing several substitutions there, get fresh players out onto the field. Milton up to the line, takes the snap, and he'll hand it off to Blake Corum, the freshman. Picks up 3 yards. Corum freshman from Marshall, Virginia, played at St. Francis Academy under Biff Poggi, the father of Henry Poggi, former Michigan fullback.
Just a clear lack of vision there for Blake Corum. If he makes that cutback, the Michigan linebacker, or the Penn State linebacker, Lance Dixon, overcommitted on that play. He cuts back. That could have been a touchdown for the Wolverines. Again, Lance Dixon overcommitted. If Corum cuts back, that's a touchdown for the Wolverines.
They had Corum out wide. Now he motions to the side of Milton. Pressure comes again. Milton going to fire it out, and that pass is errant in the direction of Ronnie Bell, high and wide. And now it'll be 3rd and 7 from the Michigan 36.
Hardest throw to make in football is the out route.
Yep.
Just right there, just a little too much over on the receiver. Not going to make that throw any day.
Yeah, kind of a tough decision there for Ronnie Bell. The Penn State corner was really making the play on the ball. Looks like he was trying to go for the interception. Forced Ronnie Bell to come back towards the ball, except for instead of maybe running a couple more yards out to catch the ball and get the first down.
7:10 to go in the second quarter. Michigan and Penn State tied at 7. 3rd and 7 from the Michigan 33. Milton drops back, throws, and he turfs that one. Bounces at the feet of Cornelius Washington, and after that drive, I'm not sure how you can keep Milton on the field if McNamara is cleared to play. We don't know if he is, but he's standing first man on the sideline right now.
Yeah,
the punt unit comes out.
Yep, and he's warming up right now. But that's just, that's Joe Millen relying too much on his arm strength. I mean, like Miller just said, that's the hardest throw to make for an NFL or for any quarterback is a 10-yard out route. And you throw it 2 times in a row. It's a very low percentage throw for a quarterback to make, and you tried it twice in a row.
There's the reason that guy was open is because they didn't expect him to make the throw.
Yeah, agreed.
Brad Robbins stands at his own 21. He downed it inside the 20 on his last punt, and he boots that one away. A high arcing kick that is going to be fair caught at the 25-yard line. Solid boot for Robbins, and that's where Penn State will start their next drive. 7 minutes remaining in the first half. This game's pretty even, tied on the scoreboard in yardage. 145 for Michigan, 139 for the Nittany Lions. And this is kind of what we expected. Two teams really struggling, battling, trying to get a huge win that both coaches need so desperately. And they're locked in a tight battle right now.
It may feel equal in yards, but Michigan has also had big chunk plays. That make those up. Penn State has routinely gotten what they wanted on the ground game, and routinely gotten what they want in the short pass game. They've had just a couple of bad throws on 3rd down, one odd call, and then like a bad injury. It was outside of that. Penn State's really. It feels like Penn State should be winning this game by a decent amount at this point.
Well, it's a good point because Michigan's had rushing plays of 59 and 13 and a receiving play of 21 yards. If you total those up, that's 93 of Michigan's 145 yards. They've run 21 plays, so the other 18 plays have attained only about 50 yards cumulatively. So Michigan's relied on the chunks. Penn State, not as much. Their longest play, 20 yards to Washington, 16 on a catch to Lutz. Otherwise, they've been consistent about 4 yards per carry on the ground.
That's exactly how you got to play Michigan. You got to get those chunk plays time at a time. The rush is going to come to, which is going to leave enough time for space to be over on one side and blockers to develop because the guys are coming in. That's how you beat Michigan if you're Penn State.
You remember, there's 2 big plays that can't be forgotten. That 4th and 1, that false start, that cost Penn State at least 3 points. The situation where Penn State gets a first down, they might drive down and score a touchdown. Yeah. And also for the Wolverines, I mean, that play that got overturned, that we all thought was still a fumble, that's a big turnover point there for the Wolverines that they didn't get to cash on.
Yeah, some big plays in this game, not going Michigan's way necessarily, still looking for the first turnover of the contest after that fumble by Parker Washington overturned on replay. We're being told that Sean Clifford is warming up for Penn State. We'll see if he comes out, though.
I doubt it after a knee injury. Or typically, McNamara had at least one drive where he had to sit out. I think you're going to see, what's his name, the backup quarterback?
Leafus.
Yeah.
It's really hard, though. I mean, clearly, like I just said, they had 3rd and 11, and they ran a quarterback draw. Clearly, they have no confidence that Leafus can throw the ball.
Yeah, but the play design was really smart, actually. They got the defense moving towards the bubble screen.
Yeah, but you're 3rd and 8. And I mean,
a quarterback draws, you're never expecting that to get over 4 or 5 yards.
Oh, it is Clifford.
Ooh.
Number 14 back out onto the field as the Penn State players break the huddle. Penn State wearing the customary all-white uniforms with the white helmets, the blue stripe,
one of the most underrated uniforms in all of college football.
Penn
It just
State?
screams tradition. Screams tradition, and I love it.
Who underrates Penn State?
Some people.
Some people.
All right, Clifford on the field. The running back to his left, tight end off to the right, 2 wide receivers left, 1 out right. Michigan's got 3 down linemen, still lined up in a 3-3-5 alignment. Josh Ross watching, and they'll hand it off to the running back, who is tackled right away. Really fine tackling play there. Keziah Holmes brought down by Michael Barrett and Daxton Hill, combining there for maybe a gain of 2 on the play.
You know, that's one of the things that we were super excited to see as Daxton Hill came into Michigan. He's got phenomenal closeout speed. He can be from point A to point B in a very short amount of time to make an impact play, and he was right there for that one.
Clifford now gets up to the line, 18 on the play clock. He takes the snap. Got some time to throw in the direction of a receiver kind of behind him. Jamon Green, strong coverage there as the ball was intended for, I believe, Keandre Lambert-Smith there for Penn State. Now another 3rd and long situation.
Have we, out of curiosity, have we had any penalties outside of that false start?
Nope.
No, none.
Is that the only one? It's been a pretty clean half of football.
Yeah. Referees letting him play a little bit. 3rd down and 8 from the 26. 3 receivers out wide to tight end and a running back for the Nittany Lions. Clifford still looking at the sideline, looking for the signals. And he takes the snap, drops back, and starts to feel some pressure. Rolling out to his right. Got a man open across the field. That's a nice read there from Clifford. And all the way out to the 48, he's got Parker Washington again. That's Washington's 7th reception of the game.
Don Brown looked like he was blitzing and had his cornerback step back, leaving enough space on the boot as he runs for the play development. He had so much space on that play, Andy.
Yeah, that was just a really nice play by Clifford.
Snap taken, and he'll give it off. That looks like Holmes again picks up about 4 on the play as he goes on the right side of the line.
Yeah, Parker Washington, 7 receptions for 79 yards on 7 targets. Just really efficient game so far from the Penn State Nittany Lions wide receiver.
5:43 to go in the first half. 7-7 Michigan and Penn State. Clifford back up to the line. Michigan's now got 4 down linemen and showing blitz off the edge. Doesn't come. They just hand it off again, and Holmes bouncing off tacklers, and he'll spin forward for the first down to the 40.
Again, we've seen a couple plays here for the Wolverines where they just keep missing tackles. I mean, they missed 3 tackles right there. Just it seems like an easy run there for the Penn State Nittany Lions to just break off a few tackles and get that first down.
Mozzie Smith runs onto the field for Donovan Jeter. He and Hinton playing the defensive tackle spot right now. Upshaw and Kemp on the field at the moment for Michigan at the defensive end position. Clifford takes the snap. A rusher comes right away, and Clifford is brought down, but he actually got that one away, I think. Complete on a slant for 2 yards to Keziah Holmes.
Wow.
And then Clifford got planted off the edge there.
I was gonna say, Jane, you got me excited there.
I thought it was a.
I don't know how he got that football away as he's being brought to the ground.
See if I can find a replay.
And for Clifford, who previously was kind of banged up, that's another really hard hit. 2nd down and 8 upcoming. Quiddy Pay runs onto the field for Michigan. He'll line up on the edge. They hand it off to running back, cutting out wide. Spinning again is Keziah Holmes, and he'll pick up a first down, about 10 yards there for Penn State on that rush.
Man, does that not look like Saquon Barkley out there? A big heavy-set running back, number 26 with the Penn State Nittany Lions.
Not as fast as Saquon.
I mean, Hunter Reynolds came up to make a tackle there and didn't even touch the man he was trying to tackle.
What a great call for a counter right there. Oh, Lord. Like, the entire box of stats on the other side of the run. Perfect.
And it's that cross-splitting pull block by the tight end,
Yep.
clearing out that defensive end, Quiddy Pay.
Yep.
Now Clifford comes up, 1st and 10 for Penn State from the 28. Quarterback keeper. Clifford's got a big hole. Cuts it out, 20, 15, 10. Heading for the corner. Touchdown, Penn State. That's a 28-yard quarterback run for Sean Clifford. And the Nittany Lions go back on top with 3:32 to go in the second quarter.
Yeah, they run the counter of the exact same play that they just ran, that cross-splitting pull block that we talked about the tight end. They run that again, but instead of giving it off to the running back, Clifford keeps it right up the middle and breaks it off for a long, 28-yard touchdown there for the Nittany Lions. Just really nice play design, as it looks like Clifford is in the end zone. I think that play was stand. I don't know if they're going to look at it. Touchdown Penn State. Really nice play design there for James Franklin and the offensive staff.
Snap out, hold is good, and the kick is up, and it is through by Jake Pinnegar there. And Penn State takes a 14-7, 3:32 to go. So now, big questions for Michigan because they get the ball to start the second half. If they can get points here on this drive or even tie the game, that'll be a good place to be heading into halftime. But they need a drive here late. They've got all 3 timeouts, but we have seen Jim Harbaugh's team struggle in clock management time and time again over his tenure.
Yeah, this is going to be a situation where Michigan gets the ball at halftime. Any team, worst case scenario, for a football team who gets the ball at halftime, you want to go in, you get the ball coming out into the second half. You want to have the game tied into halftime so you have the opportunity to win the game with more possessions in the second half. Well, this is a situation in the drive where Michigan could try to get that opportunity. Tie this game up, go into the second half where you get the ball coming out of the second half and have a chance to win the game.
Milton and McNamara are playing catch on the sideline with help from Roman Wilson and Cornelius Johnson. McNamara standing at the 30, Milton at the 19 or the 20. I mean, McNamara's throws look fine to me. I'm not a quarterback expert, but he definitely doesn't look super banged up at the moment.
Well, speaking as a quarterback expert,
okay.
he's not looking too bad out there. He's looking decently good. I mean, he's very much trying to rifle the ball, which is not normally what you want to do so he's trying to get his feel back.
He's testing his arm.
He's testing his arm. Normally you're trying to just warm up, but he's trying to see if he can still throw those tight windows, which is not normally what you want to see. But when the guy's coming back from injury, it's not too bad.
People always forget to. People are when Cade came in last week against Rutgers, you go, who is this Cade McNamara guy? Some dude from Nevada, some low 4-star. But people tend to forget Cade McNamara had offers from Notre Dame, LSU, Notre Dame, LSU, albeit off from Alabama, offer from Michigan. Obviously came here to Michigan. He was a high-level recruit coming out of Nevada. And like you reported, Drain, he was a Gatorade Player of the Year. This kid is good. He's got an arm.
And even more, he chose to go to Michigan where he knew there was going to be a quarterback battle. Where he knew there was going to be a quarterback battle, so they must have liked him if they thought at the time that they were fond of Milton or McCaffrey.
He was a part of that class where we talked about Mozzie Smith, Chris Hinton, one of the more exciting classes that Michigan had. Remember, Michigan was in that big battle for Zach Harrison, the defensive end who ended up going to Ohio State. And Cade McNamara was the one guy who was almost like the J.J. McCarthy right now, was on the recruiting trail for the Wolverines, trying to recruit these other players to come into the Michigan Wolverines. So like you said, Miller, this dude does love Michigan.
And I believe McNamara was tight with Giles Jackson during the recruiting process. Continue to see Cade standing there on the sideline, just kind of waiting around, and not sure where Milton has disappeared to on the sideline.
Yeah, a really exciting class that really was. I mean, Mike Sandersdale came out of that class, Giles Jackson, Jalen Perry, a cornerback that I really like that hasn't came on the field yet for the Wolverines. Talked about Mozzie Smith, McNamara, Chris Hinton. That was a really exciting class there for the Wolverines. And actually, Daxton Hill was in that class as well.
Yeah. So Jordan Stout will put the ball down and get ready to do the kickoff. Michigan will have St. Ristel and Coram back deep again. The ball fell off the tee, so Stout has to go up and put it back down. McNamara is the closest player to the sideline, to the field right now. He's standing right on the white there, and Milton's a few paces behind him with some of the other players. Cade's jumping up and down now, tapping his helmet with his hands. He looks fired up. There's a weird wobbly kick, line drive through the back of the end zone there.
Looked like a John Carlos Stanton home run that doesn't leave 10 feet over off the air and just goes straight off for a home run. That's
new fad kick. That's new fad kicking right now, apparently. It's just trying to boot it straight to the end zone so no one catches it.
It's true. That ball never left 15 feet off the ground.
So here we go. Huddle breaks, and it is Cade McNamara in the football game. Michigan trailing 14-7, 3:32 to go, trying to put together a late half drill to even this game up as Penn State leads 14-7.
Plenty of time, 3:32. You have all 3 timeouts. You don't need this all in 20, 30-yard chunks. This can be methodical 5-yard, 10-yard pop drive.
McNamara claps his hands, and he's going to swing it out wide. They've got A.J. Henning. He's going to turn the corner and be spun down at the 31. That's a solid 6-yard pickup on first down.
Yep, exactly what I talked about. You don't have to look for these long-distance plays. You have 3 timeouts, 3:15 left on the clock. You can afford to have short chunk plays and just keep moving the chains methodically. And that's a great start there for the Wolverines.
They get up to the line with 25 on the play clock. Cade motions out wide. He'll have Bell move along the formation and is going to swing it out towards St. Ristol, and that goes right off the mitts. Tough drop there for St. Ristol.
Yeah, that's got to be caught. That's got to be caught there for your Mike. That's a tough play. Or not a tough play. It's an easy play that you should convert there for the Wolverines. Very nice pass by Cade McNamara.
Same throw that Joe Milton overthrew on the previous drive.
That's would have been probably a first down. St. Ristol was standing right at the line to gain, and now all of a sudden, just like that, you're in a third down situation. 3rd and 4, big moment here for Michigan. They do not want to get the ball or give the ball right back to Penn State. Henning comes across the formation, 5 wide receivers, 3 down linemen for Penn State. McNamara should be well protected, and he is. He throws that one short of the sticks, too high off St. Ristol, and that is a very disappointing 3 and out for Michigan.
He had a guy open on a stick route with space in the zone coverage, just missed him.
Yeah.
It's clear one read throw. You can't have those on 3rd down.
Yeah. AJ Henning coming in motion, like you said, came back, ran that little stick or a curl route right at the first down marker, wide open, nobody within 5 feet of him, and McNamara just missed him.
Sure looked like McNamara was staring down his receiver there. Well covered by Penn State. And now Michigan all of a sudden in jeopardy and turning it back over to the Nittany Lions. Here's Robbins' punt. Another high and arcing one will be caught right at the 30-yard line by Parker Washington. And Penn State will take over, and now it's the Nittany Lions' chance for a 2-minute drill with 2:47 on the clock. 14-7 Penn State advantage. They lead in the total yardage, 215 to 151. Just stitching together that touchdown drive on their previous series. Sean Clifford capping it off with the 28-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, like you said, Drain, the tides really changed right there. You had an opportunity for Michigan to maybe make a play before the half comes up, and now you have Penn State with 2:47, with all 3 of their timeouts still remaining, having a chance to extend that lead.
James Franklin, not known as a late-game savant, though, so we'll see how they manage the clock here. Clifford swings it out into the flat. It's got a receiver who will be pushed out after a gain of 3 yards. That's the tight end, Isaac Lutz. Rather, that's a slot receiver, Lutz. Pushed out, gain of 2 or 3. 2nd and long, 2:28. Clock is rolling. Clifford looks at the sideline, running back to his right. Tight ends at the formation and 3 wide receivers. Now Clifford checks the line again. Sees his offensive coordinator, Kirk Soroka. Now steps back into the shotgun, and he'll take the snap and hand it off, and a great tackle in the backfield there. Kevon Lee brought down immediately. It looked like Carlo Kemp with a good burst into the backfield.
Now for Michigan here on 3rd and 6, are you tempted to take a timeout so you can have the ball coming back and maybe have a chance
No,
opportunity?
you got to get off the field first before you take a timeout. 1:48 on the game clock. 28 on the play clock as Penn State comes up to the line. So Michigan can get a stop. They might have around 90 seconds or so with Penn State maybe punting. 3rd and 6 here. Clifford checks the sideline. Now steps back. Takes the snap. He's going to try and throw down the field. He's got Washington with a small step, but overthrows him. That'll fall incomplete, so Michigan now will get another shot with all 3 timeouts intact. 1:23 on the game clock, and they'll put St. Ristol back deep for this upcoming punt.
Yeah, it's a huge play there in Michigan. We're forcing Penn State to throw an incomplete pass, stops the clock for Michigan, keeping all 3 timeouts, like you said, Drain. Big player for the Wolverines, and great coverage there by Daxton Hill on Washington, the guy who's been dominating this game so far.
Now the punter, Stout, will catch the punt at the 21-yard line. boots this one away. A wobbly line drive caught by St. Ristol. No, he fumbles it, and Penn State picks it up at the 25-yard line, and a massive turnover by Michigan. We saw the hands of St. Ristol struggling on the preceding drive, and that is a massive turnover. Penn State will take over at the 27.
It looked like he was trying to take it back, too.
Yeah, that was one of those situations where Mike just clearly did not have a read on the ball. He made a late effort to run up to try to catch the ball. You're always taught as a punt returner, if you don't have an immediate read on the path of the ball from the punt, you should not try to catch it because you do not want to muff a punt. That is a situation that changes the tide and the momentum of this game completely. Huge error there by St. Ristol,
and that was an odd punt. It wasn't sort of spinning normally. It's a line drive kind of wobbling, and St. Ristol takes a weird angle to it and kind of falls over as he attempts to catch it and boots it right into the arms of the man in front of him. Now Penn State with the football in plus territory. A quick 3-yard handoff by Kayvon Lee. And now Penn State will take a timeout. Not sure why they ran it on first down there, but 1:09 to go in the first half. Penn State with a one-score lead, 14-7. Michigan's defense called upon to make a big stop right here.
Yes, sir.
That's been happening a lot this year. I mean, the Wisconsin game, the first 2 drives of that game from Michigan, they had turnovers in plus territory that forced Michigan to try to make a stop in their own territory, and now they're put in a situation where St. Ristol fumbles the ball, and Penn State now has an opportunity to score here before the half, making it a 14-point lead. You can't afford to do those kind of things.
And Penn State is the team that entered this game with turnover problems. It looked like they might be fumbling a ball early in the first half. They end up keeping the ball in that juncture after the call was overturned. And now Michigan turns it over crucially in the late stages of the second quarter. Second down and 7 from the 24. Clifford takes the snap, got some time to throw, got it complete to a receiver at the 15-yard line, running on a quick slant there. And that's Jahan Dotson, his first catch of the game by Daxton Hill. 1st and 10, clock. That was a stops to reset the chains.
Michigan's lucky that wasn't a touchdown by Parker Washington. He was open, he was leaving, he was even, he was gone.
Clifford comes up to the line, under a minute to go in the first half, and man, oh man, they stood there for about 15 seconds. Now they take a timeout. That's their second timeout used by Penn State.
Yeah, what did you say earlier, Jaren, about James Franklin's ability to coach time situations?
Well, they get a first down to reset the chains, and then they don't get a playoff, and instead are using a timeout on a first down.
It looked to me like they were trying to get time off the clock, so Michigan didn't have anything left.
Yeah, it's not in that situation. With 46 seconds left, you only have one timeout now. Now you're forced to make not this play, but 2 or 3 plays, have to throw the ball towards the end zone. That's never a situation, especially in an offense like Michigan that hasn't moved the ball sporadically at all this game. You're not even worried about that. You're trying to get in the end zone.
Penn State puts the offense back on the field after that 30-second timeout. 46 seconds in the second quarter, 14-7 Penn State on top. They're at the 15-yard line. They need the 5 for a first down. Trying to punch it in after a costly Michigan turnover. Clifford continues to check the sideline. Takes the snap. Well protected. Throws to the end zone. Nobody home. He's trying to hit Jahan Dotson. Michigan had him double covered, and it falls harmlessly incomplete.
Michigan, great coverage by, I think it was Daxton Hill on the coverage right there. Never let the receiver get behind him, but that blitz sent, I think, 7 people, and not one of them got into the backfield in time.
Yeah. Daxton Hill running even with Dotson there, and they had the safety, Hunter Reynolds, coming over as well. 2nd and 10 here, 41 seconds left. Penn State's got that one timeout in their pocket. Clifford's going to try and run it himself. Shakes a tackler, cuts it back at the 10, down towards the 5, and he'll be brought down right there. That's a first down. Clock stops to reset the chains again with 36 seconds. He shook Carlo Kemp there, and then Reynolds had to come over and try to make the tackle. Now the clock is running, 30 seconds left. Clifford, I guess, shotgun spiked it.
On first down. After the clock stops. Again,
I don't.
it's not hidden. It's not a surprise when we say that Penn State is not a good clock management team. James Franklin's not a good clock management coach. You get a first down in college football, the clock stops. You could run a play. That's a terrible, terrible, terrible mistake by Penn State.
Now they only get 2 shots at the end zone. 2nd down and 5. Clifford takes the snap, going to throw to the end zone. Got a receiver there and overthrows him. Tight coverage by Jamon Green.
I'm just dumbfounded. Like I just don't understand sometimes. So, like, you get a situation like that where the clock stops after a first down, and then you spike the ball, and then you have a timeout at the 5-yard line. You could run the ball. You don't have to force a one-on-one fade in the corner, a very low percentage play. It's part of the reason why James Franklin's 0-5 this year. He just doesn't seem like his in-game management has never been good, and right now it's clearly showing.
And you got one more shot at the end zone. 3rd and 5, 22 seconds left. They can run it if they want because they've got that timeout still. Now Kevon Lee motions to the left of Clifford. They've got trips on the left side. Now Clifford feels some pressure as just throws it in the end zone well out of the back, and now Penn State will be attempting a field goal, and Michigan may have just held the PSU offense in a big moment here.
Yeah, James Franklin just gifted 4 points, a 4-point swing on a silver platter to Jim Harbaugh and the Wolverines. That was, again, just another example of terrible clock management. You waste a play by spiking the ball when it was over 20 seconds. You didn't even have to. It wasn't even that much of a time rush, right? It was 30 seconds left on the clock. You did not have to spike it there.
Yeah, you could have just used your timeout and then taken 3 shots at the end zone if you wanted to. Now Harbaugh will ice the kicker, Pinegar.
Just unbelievable. Those are mistakes that you cannot make. And these are things that coaching staffs go over all of the time. I know my high school coaching staff ran through numerous different situations every single Monday and every single Sunday when they went over late game, either before the half or before the end of the game time situations. You have every single situation planned out, so you know when you get addressed in that kind of situation, you know how to handle it. Of course, there's multiple different outcomes or multiple different situations that could potentially present itself, but you should know how to handle every single situation that comes in your hand, that comes to you. And clearly, James Franklin did not know what to do in that situation, and Penn State suffers again.
4th down and 5. This will be a chip shot 22-yarder for Pinegar. He's 4 for 7 on field goals this year. He's missed 1 from 20 to 29 yards. That's a weird snap, but they're able to get the hold down, and he fits it through. 15 seconds remaining in the first half. Michigan will probably just kneel it down as they do get the ball to begin the second half in a 10-point hole, 7-7.
Yeah, with 2 timeouts here, 15 seconds. You're tempted, if you're Jim Harbaugh and the Michigan OC staff and Josh Gaddis, to try to make a play happen, but you've already seen multiple players where Michigan has been in pressure, where they have to throw something away, or they've thrown a lot of outs that could have been intercepted. 15 seconds left, take the knee, you get the ball coming out in the second half. Cut your losses, go into the second half down 10 points.
Now they are still trusting St. Ristel. He's back deep, standing at the 10. Corum standing at the goal line. Penn State outgaining Michigan by 90 yards on the game, 241 to 151. Jordan Stout will do the kickoff. Michigan at 2-3 on the season. Penn State 0-5. A big game for both these squads. And Penn State's got the 10-point edge right now as we approach halftime in Ann Arbor. Stout looks at his men to the side of him, and he boots away another line drive that goes out the back of the end zone.
It's so weird because in those situations where the wind is blowing at your back, you typically want to get the ball higher up in the air so the wind helps you. That's not Penn State's kicker's philosophy right now. He's just booting these low driving kicks, and regardless, that went through the back of the end zone. So, been pretty successful so far.
So Michigan comes out. They're not in a victory formation. They are in a shotgun. We'll see if they take a shot. 15 seconds. Could do one long pass and another one. Instead, they'll just hand it off. Haskins shakes a tackler, shakes another tackler. He's out to the 34. 8 seconds remaining. Michigan's not going to take a timeout, and they will head into the locker room, trailing by 10 gut check time now for the Michigan coaching staff as they head into the tunnel.
Yeah, just basing off of that play, it's pretty clear to me that Hassan Haskins is the most efficient and most successful running back for the Wolverines. For Michigan coming out in the second half, and we'll talk about our expectations in the second half, you got to get that guy going. Continue to utilize his skill because he's been pretty darn good this game.
Yeah, he's really good. Not much you can say, but if you want to talk about stories about the first half, I mean, Cade McNamara only having 38 passing yards on 8 throws. Like,
I mean, well, he did miss 2 drives, which is
they missed 2
tough.
drives, but you only have 50 passing yards, like, in total. What does that say about speed and space?
Definitely questions to be asked for the Michigan coaching staff. Game rewind before we take a small break. Penn State up 17-7. Nittany Lions got the ball first and just marched right down the field, scored a touchdown. Michigan drove into Penn State territory, turned it over on downs. Then Penn State appeared to fumble it and ended up getting that call overturned. They kept the ball, drove into Michigan territory, but the field goal after a costly false start from 49 yards was wide right. Michigan took over and were able to drive down and get a game-tying touchdown. Then there was a long stretch in the middle of the first half where both teams were punting back and forth. Quarterback injuries on both sides. Clifford goes down, as does McNamara. They both have to miss some drives. Michigan's offense sputtered under Milton. Penn State gets a touchdown on a long run by Clifford. Then Michigan looked like they were going to get the ball back and a chance to drive late in the half. And a crucial fumble by Mike St. Ristel puts Penn State in position, but shoddy clock management results in a chip shot field goal, and Penn State leads 17-7 at the break. Any last thoughts for this first half?
Yeah, that's a really tough situation from the Wolverines. They never tend to be a good team at coming back from behind. When you have a hard time stopping the run, and when you have a hard time throwing the football, that's never a strong recipe for a comeback win. So we'll see how Michigan comes back in the second half.
Yeah, I'll say not being able to throw or run the football, those are like 2 key tenets to football, right?
Being able to stop the run and throwing and completing passes.
Yeah.
That's very hard to do, to come back and win when you can't stop the run and when you can't complete passes.
Yeah.
Well, with that, there's 19 on the halftime clock. We'll come back in a little bit to get you ready for the second half. But until then, enjoy halftime in our score. Penn State 17, Michigan 7.
Welcome back to the halftime report here at Michigan as the team walks out of the tunnel. Andy, it's been a long first half for the Michigan football team. What have you noticed?
Yeah, it's tough for the Wolverines coming back in the second half. 17-7 coming here in the second half of football. Michigan is going to get the ball first. But, coming into this game, we had a big question. Can Cade McNamara step up? Can his first start as a Michigan Wolverine, can it come out of can he leave this game with a successful performance? It's kind of hard to judge that right now with him not being able to have a sort of a game where he could stay in rhythm. He had to miss those 2 drives. Those are 2 huge, important drives for the Wolverines where there was just a stalemate on offense with Joe Milton at quarterback. So I'm curious to see if McNamara can lead another comeback for the Wolverines where he hopefully get in the rhythm, play continuously, not have to miss these couple drives like he did in the first half.
It's also just really hard when you have the same 6 plays being run every single time and none of them are thrown down the field whatsoever. Michigan football is really done Cade McNamara a disservice because they're asking him to throw stick routes and jet sweeps and bubble screens and mountain swings. And it's like, if you're going to get Cade McNamara to be your quarterback and to win you football games, which you do need him to do now since you are down 10, you need to get him in rhythm throwing down the ball on the field. 50 yards throwing is not going to get you anywhere. And that was off one good, really big chunk play from a slant and go from
Ronnie Bell.
Ronnie Bell. And that was not even Cade McNamara.
Yeah, which is tough. Again, when you miss 2 drives, and that's a large percentage of the plays that Joe Milton had to throw a couple times, that's really, really hard for you to get in rhythm, and it's really hard for you to have any sort of statistics like that. I mean, like you said, he's only thrown 8 times. I mean, right now he's 5 of 8 for 31 yards. I mean, it's not great. It's not terrible. He didn't have 2 huge possessions.
I'm not blaming Cade McNamara here. That is terrible, but it's not reflective on Cade McNamara. It's reflective on the fact that they're not calling plays to throw down anywhere down the field.
When you look at the stat sheet, the one thing you do have to look at, and I hinted at it before we kind of left the air, Hassan Haskins is 9 carries for 81 yards and a touchdown.
He's
right
great.
now. You need to get that guy going. I know you're behind. You're down 10 points. You're getting the ball at the first half, but you still could come out and get him rolling. Feed him the rock. He's been your best running back all year. He's clearly the hot running back right now. Feed that guy the rock, see what he can do, and see if he can lead you back in this game as well.
The Michigan football team has just unfortunately not been able to take advantage. Yes, Hassan Haskins is going to be a key reason why I get back in this game, but Michigan football has not been able to take advantage of what every other team in football. Micah Parsons isn't playing, and in the middle of the defense is open, but Michigan is not taking that. They are getting sticks. They are getting these quick 5-yard completions and hoping something will happen. You need to get these guys going down inside like throws over 7 yards. Try and get them open down the middle so that way when they have speed in space.
Well, a lot of the key components of speed and space is having opportunities where these guys can get yards after the run or yards after the catch plays. Ronnie Bell had that, like you said, that slant. That was a 4-yard route that he would turn into a 15-yard run. That's what speed and space, I believe, truly entitles, is giving an opportunity where your players have speed and space, where you guys have a lot of space. Your fast wide receivers have a lot of space where they can work on their speed, get their speed open and open opportunities. And, I think when Michigan actually tries to execute that game plan, they do a particularly good job.
Yeah, that's fair, but speed and space seems to have only been jet sweeps and drag routes, trying to get them easy completions and get them running when people are calling that bluff and playing soft zone, having them up towards the line of scrimmage, and there's guys ready for them.
Well, we're set now for the second half between Michigan and Penn State. Our score, Michigan 7, Penn State 17, Wolverines in a 10-point hole, and it definitely feels like this first drive for Michigan is very, very important. Down 10 points, trying to claw their way back in the game. Had some opportunities late in that half, had a drive stall on a 3-and-out, then a fumble on the potential punt return to get the ball back again. They need points here.
Yeah, this is a really important drive, and it's not like you're in a situation where you're a must-pass comeback type of team. You can still have these methodical drives where you're involving Hassan Haskins getting 7, 8, 9-yard carries and still running your whole playbook, still having your whole playbook open.
And now Stouts put the ball down on the 35-yard line. Blake Corum back deep. Michigan has not had a chance to return any kicks yet. Now the referee blows the whistle and says we're ready to play. Stout standing 9 yards back at the 26 in the left hash. Will run up and boot this one away. Corum is not going to have a shot at that because it goes way out of bounds, drifting to the left. We've noted how Stout's kicks have spun oddly today, and that one goes not even close to the field of play.
And now he's kicking into the wind. So
and Michigan will start at their own 35. That's a bit of a gift. Good field position.
Exactly. Michigan's trying to get back in this game after 1,350 games. Michigan has never lost to an 0-5 team in its history. Hopefully they choose to reverse these fortunes now.
History may be made here in the second half. Michigan comes out with McNamara at quarterback, Haskins to the left. 3 wide receivers. Looks like the tight end Eubanks on the left side of the formation. McNamara takes the snap, gives it off to Haskins. He's got some room, cuts it back at the 40, dives inside, close to the yard to gain. Maybe a half yard short. Be second in inches. Or no, they're going to give him a first down. No, they're not. the chain gang started moving, and then the referees said, wait a second. And so they'll be, that's like a third of a yard, maybe about a foot, 6 inches even. McNamara takes the snap, gives it off again. He didn't get it there.
Sure.
Haskins gets right back to the line of scrimmage. 2 tacklers swarm him just off the left tackle.
Get an off-tackle run on second and inches. It's just not a good play call. Run a straight dive up the middle where you're relying on your offensive line to get a little bit of a push. That way you can get an easy, high-percentage first down.
Michigan puts the beef package back on the field. They've got Ben Mason out there and a 6th offensive lineman, Joel Honigford. McNamara takes the snap, gives it off. Haskins isn't going to get it. He is a half yard short, and now decision time for Michigan. I think you got to go for it. What's the point of losing by 30 if you're going to lose, by 10?
Could not agree more, Drain. 4th and inches, you have to. If you want to win games like this, you should be able to convert a 4th and inches play. I agree.
It was 2nd and inches, then it was 3rd and inches. Now it's 4th and inches. And Michigan on their own 44.8 yard line. McNamara takes the snap, gives it off, and Haskins is swallowed. No, he got forward for a first down.
Wow.
What a play by Hassan Haskins to keep the legs churning on the right side of that formation. He was touched in the backfield, and he just wiggles like a small rodent through a hole that was very, very small and dives the football forward for a valiant first down.
All Hassan Haskins breaks the Antonio Shelton tackle and gets a big first down for the Wolverines. All Haskins.
1st and 10 at the 45. Michigan gets that by the skin of their teeth. McNamara to throw. He's got a receiver wide open at the Penn State 45. That's Cornelius Johnson out of bounds at the 42, a 13-yard pickup.
That's a tough throw there for McNamara. Cornelius Johnson runs like a 13-yard hitch, but he runs it on the wide side of the field. So Michigan gets a gain 13 yards, but he's really throwing that ball about 25, 26 yards. That's a tough throw to make for a first-time, starting quarterback for the Wolverines.
McNamara making his first collegiate start for Michigan. He's got Henning coming in motion. And he'll look at him, throws it to him, kind of behind Henning, and he's going to get planted for a loss of 3. Great tackle there by Brandon Smith, the outside linebacker, in space.
Yeah, mountain swing pass. You see those all the time in the NFL today. But Penn State did not bite there. They kept their linebackers in their zone, didn't go with the switch, and made sure there was nobody else. There was not one blocker from no one bit. And he had no room to go with it.
A really late decision, to throw that ball. He really didn't throw it until you saw the Penn State guy was committed to the mountain swing, and he threw it even when that guy was. You just got to eat that one, throw it away, or maybe try to make something work up the middle.
The throw was a bit behind the receiver as well. McNamara with Haskins in the pistol. McNamara's going to keep it. Shovel pass and a shaking of a tackle by Ronnie Bell. Nice move to get by a white shirt. And Ronnie Bell then scampers forward to pick up 6 yards on the play. Gets him now to 3rd and medium 3rd and 7 from the Penn State 38, and this has got to be 4-down territory again for Michigan.
McNamara, baby, making a little shovel pass. I like that little move. Right there, that's a higher percentage throw. I like that. And Ronnie Bell, again, making really nice plays in yards after the catch situations.
McNamara, shotgun, and Penn State jumped off sides. That should be a penalty on Penn State, and it will be. The referee on the far side of the field signals. That was a defensive end. That looks like number 28, I think.
I believe so.
Yep, Jason Owe, redshirt sophomore from Howell, New Jersey, just jumps forward, and man, Michigan gets another gift. Both, only 2 penalties so far today, and both are massive pre-snap penalties by Penn State. One when they had a 4th and 1, and this one from 3rd and 7 now to 3rd and 2, and it's 4-down territory for Michigan. A lot more manageable. Henning comes in motion again. Cade now claps his hands, checks the sideline. Henning is standing at the 40-yard line. Now he's going to move closer to the line of scrimmage and line up in the slot receiver position.
Offsides makes it 4-down territory.
McNamara takes the snap, and now we got a whistle. Do we get a timeout before the play?
They go formation?
Nope.
Timeout.
Timeout Michigan, and that's a big timeout to take because that's one timeout you won't have late if you're trying to stop later.
Penn State was hoping to get. Michigan was hoping to get a big shift on that defense with the movement, trying to fake them out and swing. It just didn't work. Penn State has been very good at being stagnant, patient on defense, and knowing the situation.
Sure.
They're not going to get jumped off because Michigan wants them to.
10:32 to go in the third quarter. 17-7 Penn State on top. Quick scores around the Big Ten. Only one other game going on right now, and it's Indiana against Maryland. The Hoosiers lead 7-3. Indiana, of course, could be making the Big Ten championship game if Ohio State does not play 6 football games. They contracted coronavirus last night, had to cancel their game. Was supposed to take place against Illinois today. If they miss one more game, they will not make the Big Ten championship game.
What a shame it would be if some way, somehow, the Michigan Wolverines had a couple positive coronavirus cases and decided not to play against Ohio State and forfeits their chance to go to the Big Ten championship.
Oh, and it may not matter if Ohio State can't play MSU next weekend. And they got over the 7.5% positive threshold. They're shutting down all team activities. And they're going to have to try and find a way to put players on the field next week against the Spartans.
Yeah, there are a little bit of rumors and people talking about the Big Ten maybe potentially changing that rule. But it's one of those situations where if you want to change that rule, you got to do it mid-season, which Big Ten and conferences do not like to do.
Yeah. Wisconsin is already ineligible for the conference championship game. They weren't going anyway because of Northwestern defeating them. But definitely problems engulfing the sport right now as outbreaks run rampant across the conferences. Michigan, though, is in position to potentially play all their games. Their next 2 opponents, Maryland, and then really Ohio State's the only one in question right now. Maryland had an outbreak previously, but they're playing today against Indiana. This is Michigan's 6th game of the season. They've got 2 more, and then they're supposed to play a 9th game. We still haven't heard much about how the Big Ten is going to configure that 9th game. The idea was that the 1 seed in the East would play the 1 in the West, 2 in the East, 2 in the West, and so on. The current conference standings, not pretty for Michigan, but they're above Rutgers and Penn State. Let's see. Obviously, if they win this game,
should be above Michigan State as well.
Play Maryland too. So Michigan could be as high as 3rd in the division.
All right, so there's some things in 2020 are still similar. Michigan finished 3rd in the East.
But they got to win this today if they want to finish 3rd in the East. So out comes the Michigan offense. It's a 3rd and 2 situation. 10:32 to go in the third quarter. Wolverines on the Penn State 33-yard line, trailing by 10 points, 17-7, trying to get in range to score on their opening possession of the second half.
Again, like I said, that offsides puts this in 4-down territory for the Wolverines. The music is just not shutting off there, causing a little pause in the state of play here.
Yeah, the referees now give the signal. 3rd and 2. Haskins to McNamara's left, takes the snap, They'll give it to Haskins, and he does another phenomenal job to break tackles, and he gets the first down with very little hole opening up.
The dude is an absolute beast. He is making holes for himself that are simply not there.
Yeah.
He's breaking tackles to get first downs, and it just seems like he's the only guy on the Michigan field right now that is really doing much.
So Michigan gets a fresh set of downs, 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line. Freshman center Zach Carpenter. He's got the ball in his right hand. He waits for the signal from McNamara. Cade takes the snap. He's got Ronnie Bell running in motion. He's going to take a shot down the field. Got a receiver with a step, but he overthrew him. Cornelius Johnson had a little bit of separation, but McNamara's pass not accurate, and it drifts out of bounds.
Yeah, looked like Cornelius had a nice step there on the Penn State DB, just a little outside. McNamara trying to go with that back shoulder fade. Close, but, not close enough.
Joey Porter Jr. in coverage. 2nd and 10, 9:54 to go in the third quarter. McNamara takes the snap. He's going to roll out to his left. Rusher comes in his face, throws towards his tight end underneath, and now some pushing and shoving on the sideline. Eric All took a swipe at the man who was covering him that looked like Charlie Ketcher maybe was the one in coverage. 3rd and 10 now for Michigan.
Yeah, big play here. Michigan doesn't get a conversion here, doesn't complete a pass. It's a 47-yard field goal, so maybe right now you're not thinking about converting a first down. You're trying to make it more of a field goal.
Well, Quinn Nordine's not available, so Jake Moody, he's got a good leg, but has been wobbly this year, 0 for 3 on field goals in that game against Minnesota.
And kicking into the wind, or kicking with the wind, fortunately.
McNamara's going to swing it out. He's got Chris Evans in space. Can Evans make something happen? He shakes one tackle, goes out of bounds at the 23. You got thumped there by a Penn State player coming in late. Now you're in 4th and short. I think you got to go for it. Now they're going to put the field goal unit on the field. You're really trusting your kicker here on 4th down and 2 at the 22-yard line. This should be about a 39 or a 40-yard attempt for Jake Moody. A lot of confidence in the kicker right now.
Yeah, 39-yard field goal. Again, with the wind at your back, you think this would be a pretty manageable kick, but Michigan's had problems kicking all year.
Winds were about 10 miles an hour at kickoff. Snap out, hold is good. The kick is up, and it is good. Moody puts it through. Michigan's first drive takes about 6 minutes, but they do make it a one-score game, 17-10.
Again, big drive there for the Wolverines, capped off by Hassan Haskins, just being absolutely dominant in making plays for this Michigan football team. That 4th and inches, he's the guy that converted that first down. That 3rd and 2nd, guess what? He was the guy that converted that first down. Big drive there.
He's a guy that knows how to get low and get under and squeeze. That's something that a lot of backs don't know until they really get into the NFL, is to get low, get under the blocks, and get those extra couple yards, which have really been the difference in this Michigan offense so far. If there's one thing I'd like to see a little less swing passes. It worked twice, but twice it really cost the Michigan football team this often.
Especially when Cade is making the decision so late. It's so hard to make a move when you're catching the ball, and by the time you catch the ball for any person running that swing pass, when the defender's right on you, you got to catch the ball and make a move as soon as you catch it. That's always a really hard thing to do. You want to be able to get rid of that ball quick, catch the ball, and then you have a couple seconds, maybe you have a couple steps to be able to make that move. Right now, Cade is making that decision too late with no capability of that pass catcher having a chance to make a move.
It seems to me, though, possibly that those are that's literally a decision. That's the design, is to get the swing back, fake like you're throwing a regular pass, and get the swing out there. Is what it looks like.
When you run a swing pass, you want to. You want to do it right away. You want to do it right away.
You're supposed to.
Yeah.
But no one ever mistakenly throws a swing pass after a second of holding it. Is my point. It seems like it was a play design.
Yeah, if that's the case, it's a really flawed play design. Like I said, it's so hard for a pass catcher to catch that ball right away, and you expect them to make a move as soon as they receive the ball. There's got to be a short amount of time where the pass catcher can catch the ball, then make a move. You can't do it simultaneously. It's very hard to do. Big drive here for the Wolverines. Penn State now throwing into the wind. Might play a little factor for that Penn State offense, but same theme the entire game. Michigan defense has to make stops. Defense kind of shored up a little bit as that first half went on. The running defense got a little bit better, but they want to have a chance to get back in this ball game, and it's one possession game. They're going to have to start making a stop right here in this first drive.
Yeah, most definitely.
You do wonder, I will say, about that previous drive with that pass that Cade McNamara floated towards Cornelius Johnson. Was the shoulder bothering him on that throw?
Yeah. That was a deep throw, and it wasn't too far off. Again, he tried for that back shoulder fade. I'm just glad to see the Wolverines trying to make plays down the field. That's something that has not been the theme for the Wolverines all year. They haven't tried it much. Trying it all in this game keeps the defense a little honest.
Yeah, and it came to the defense. It's where you want the ball to go, like literally right where it was. I think the wind sailed it a little bit to the right. And then it's like that's exactly where you want the ball to go. I think it was just like an inch sailed, but like that's exactly where you want the ball to go. Cade looks fine, and this is from a quarterback expert.
Moody puts the ball down on the tee. Penn State's got Parker Washington and Jahan Dotson back deep. Big drive for Michigan's defense to try to keep this a one-score game, get the football back, and Penn State's going to try and keep their momentum going. Their last two drives looked pretty solid at the conclusion of that half. Moody, high arcing kick, will land in the end zone. One question for Penn State on this series. Sean Clifford, 11 for 20 in the game with 110 yards, but Penn State has not attempted many downfield throws, and that's the weakness of Michigan's defense. They're not being able to exploit it right now.
Yeah, they've done a really nice job. I really think they're starting to get in. They're not doing a nice job throwing the ball down the field. The Sean Clifford QB keep is really starting to turning into a factor in this ball game. A couple nice designed QB draws there. One that went for a touchdown and one went for like a 20-yard rush. Are they going to trust Clifford more on the feet? That's something I'm curious to see in this drive.
Yeah.
So Clifford comes out, but he's not able to snap it yet as they were resetting the play clock. Now he's ready to go. Shotgun snap, standing at his own 20, ball at the 25, flips it out towards Washington, nothing going on there. Washington is tackled well by Jamon Green, who forced the blocker right back into Washington. And now we've got a player down on the field. Trying to see the number, that's Donovan Jeter. And now he's angry. He's angry about something, not sure if it's about his injury, but he made a major sort of like fist pump type thing of frustration and almost decked the trainer right there.
I got to say, really nice play by Jamon Green there. One of those situations where they run that bubble screen where he's being blocked. Did a great job, almost like a defensive line bull rush move where he gets that blocker right into the face of the pass catcher and has that free hand open where he can grab and tackle that pass catcher. Great job.
He just saved 20 yards essentially from this whole team. He had all the space in the world after. Andy, he had all the space in the world back there. If he gets
Jackson Hill was right behind Jamon Green. He was probably going to make the play as well.
Yeah, he was going to make the play 15 yards on the field.
2nd and 10. Penn State comes out in the shotgun. Clifford takes the snap. Play action. Throws. Got a man complete. And a slant route down to the 39-yard line. Big 14-yard pickup there for Penn State on 2nd and long. Washington again.
Another one of those slants that just seem to be wide open in the middle of the field right now. I'm not sure if Michigan's trying to kind of matriculate into that zone coverage thing. It's the thing I talked about earlier. When you have a team
that looks like a zone.
Yeah, when you have a team that typically runs a lot of man, you try to put them into zone situations. They don't particularly do well.
1st and 10 at the 39. Clifford takes the snap, and he's going to give it to his running back, Kayvon Lee. Picks up maybe 2 or 3 yards. Not much there. Michigan has done better with bogging up the middle as Quiddy pays in on the tackle.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Dre. Since that's the first and second drive, the Michigan rush defense has gotten a lot better.
I mean, eventually those 6-7 guys you're going to send are going to make a play.
Michigan making some substitutions onto the field, running David Ojabo out there at defensive end. Clifford takes the snap. He's going to try and keep it himself, shakes one tackler, and then will be brought down by Michael Barrett at the 45-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 4 upcoming.
What's great about like these plays for for Penn State is that they're really deciding where the run defenses go, where the rush is coming. They're using classic zone blocking schemes because they know Michigan wants to blitz you, so they're going to let them blitz you and get behind you by the time he's even there.
And that's a dangerous thing when you blitz. When those blitzing linebackers do get picked up, that leaves a lot of space up the middle for rushers.
Michigan puts the pass rushing package on the field. They've got Julius Welshoff at nose tackle, Quiddy Pay and Taylor Upshaw out as well. Carlo Kemp lined up, 4 down linemen. 3rd and 4. Clifford takes the snap, drops back, ready to throw. Pressure starts to come. He's going to get hit, and he's going to go down. Sacked back at the 39-yard line. And we'll see who gets credit for the sack. The pocket just kind of collapsed. They're going to give it to Taylor Upshaw and Julius Welshoff, a couple underclassmen, with a big sack for Michigan, and the punt team comes out for Penn State.
Yeah, you couldn't have dialed up better for the Wolverines to get a big stop here. I think Penn State got 1 first down, so it wasn't necessarily a 3 and out, but a big early stop for the Wolverines gives them a chance to tie this ball game back up. Great job by the Michigan defense.
Now the punt from Stout will be caught. Oh, no, it's fumbled again. I think Michigan got it back, though. Trying to see, I think that was Blake Corum out to catch that punt. Yeah, it went right through his hands, but then he fell on the ball. A flag is down on the far side of the field, though. Boy, Michigan dodged a bullet there. See what the referees say about the flag. He signaled fair catch. Now the referees confer. Still waiting for an official signal. Now Jim Harbaugh is coming over to talk to the referees. The referees are now converging again at the 35-yard line. 3 of them standing there. Not sure if they know what the penalty even is right now.
I think it's a conversation right now. If it's a penalty and if Michigan's going to accept the penalty.
Referees broke the huddle, and the lead referee looked like he was about to turn on his microphone, and then he turned it back off and went back to huddle up again.
Yeah, well, while they're deciding, one thing I noticed on that punt play, Michigan left the middle of the line of scrimmage wide open. There was a really nice chance for Penn State, if the punter wanted to follow his 3 blockers that are right in front of him up the hole. I think it would have been a 15, 20-yard game.
Now here we go. Holding on the kicking team. It'll be 10 yards on to the end of the kick. Michigan will accept rather than have them re-kick it. So Michigan should get decent field position. I'm not sure exactly where the ball was marked down, but they'll add 10 yards onto it. So now we'll see if Michigan can put together a good drive here to try and tie the game. Trailing 17-10, 6:29 to go in the 3rd quarter. You're listening to Michigan football on WCBN Sports.
Yeah, again, if you're Penn State's special teams coach, that is something you look at when you see that on the field. That Michigan State, or that Michigan veered all the way to the outside, almost like a contained play where they make sure the punter doesn't get to the outside, they can't roll out, leaving the middle of the field wide open. Necessarily, they can just run right up the middle and get that first down if they wanted to.
This is a big drive for Cade McNamara. This is what the coaches bring you in for. It's the second half. You were down 10. You have a chance to tie up the game early in the game, early in the second half. This is what they bring you in for. Show that you can play, because they could have stuck with Joe Milton. They could have stuck it out, but they chose you.
The referees just said something and a clarification about the penalty. I couldn't quite make out what they were saying. Now they're talking to Jim Harbaugh.
I think they called it a holding on the receiving team, so holding on Michigan, moving it 10 yards backwards. So I think they mixed up the teams. They said 10 yards. They said it was a holding penalty on the kicking team, or it was actually a holding penalty on the receiving team.
Well, it definitely makes sense where that flag came in.
Yeah.
The flag was down near where the catch was made by Corum. You would normally see a hold on the receiving team there as opposed to a hold maybe on the punt blocking unit. That would come from the back judge near the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, like you said, Alex, that just logistically does not make sense why the shooter on Penn State would have a holding call. I kind of thought that right away as they announced the penalty, like you said, where the spot of the foul was at. So it makes sense why the penalty is on Michigan. But like you said, Miller, this is a big drain here for Cade. Cade McNamara have this game-tying drive. He had a lot of drives last week where you give the guy a lot of credit. He was a gamer last week against Rutgers. But like I know the records will kind of disagree with me, but I would like to believe that Penn State is a more skillful team than Rutgers. So can he come out against this better team, more skilled team, and make some plays?
No, Penn State likes to run the Seattle scheme, so where they're running a lot of cover 2 out there.
And this is a long break between plays as they went to a full media timeout it's a 3-minute break after they were already standing around debating the penalty for about 2 minutes. So the players might be getting a little cold trying to keep warm right now because they're just standing around
And
waiting
again,
for the game.
This game is on ESPN, correct? Or ESPN2 at
It's
least?
on ABC.
ABC. So, yes, you got these long media timeouts that typically happen with national televised games.
The wind has picked up a little bit. The American flag starting to blow a little heavier. It's at Michigan's back right now. The football is placed on the 18-yard line where 3 referees are standing. Michigan's got 198 yards today. Penn State 255. Michigan's drive getting ready. Penn State breaks their huddle as well. Now the teams are finally ready to resume play. 17-10, Penn State on top. Nittany Lions 0-5 on the year. Michigan 2-3. Both these teams desperate for wins, and for Michigan, it's really a matter of can you get to a bowl game. So if you win this, you got Maryland next week to maybe get to 4-3 before the Ohio State game. If they lose this, the bowl really slips further out of reach. Cade McNamara lines up in the pistol.
Last time Michigan did not make a bowl game was 2014?
2014. McNamara takes the snap, swings it out wide. He's got Cornelius Johnson. Johnson goes around a couple tacklers and then is spun out of bounds at around the 21-yard line. That'll be a small gain on first down, 3 yards. They give Joey Porter credit for the tackle. 2nd and 7 upcoming.
Yeah, a bubble screen play where Cornelius Johnson had a one-on-one against the defender. Good play by Penn State there, keeping it in his grasp. Only a 2-yard gain there for Michigan.
Another thing to watch is, does Michigan have a downfield dimension? We haven't seen it much, and with McNamara's throwing shoulder being injured earlier, something to watch. 2nd and 7, he claps and will give it off. A gain of about 3 yards on the left side by Hassan Haskins, and now you've got a 3rd and medium. About 4 or 5 yards to gain. Looked like McNamara had a lot of space out to the right side, but I don't think there was a read on that play.
Yeah, we haven't seen Cade keep the ball yet today.
We did. He scrambled. That was the play he got hurt in his shoulder.
That's right. Yep, that little
That wasn't a design run, though.
Yeah, exactly. We haven't seen him keep the ball in a read option yet. Part of the offense that Michigan was really excited to have with Joe Milne at quarterback that kind of has that less dynamic with Cade McNamara.
Chris Evans goes out wide, and they'll throw it to him. Boy, almost intercepted, and he'll drop it at the 25. That he was not at the line to gain. And now you're punting again, and it just continues to be this question, how effective can your offense be if you can't even throw the ball to the line to gain on 3rd downs?
That is seriously the one rule on 3rd down plays. If someone is playing man coverage against you, you have to throw the ball to the line of gain. If not, you are relying on someone to break a tackle and get a first down, which is way less percentage odds if you throw like a 5 or 6, 7 yard slant. Just a really bad play call.
Now Robbins kicks this one away. Another arcing punt caught at about the 30-yard line. So
this just seems like something that Michigan football does over and over and over and over again. They're trying to throw these bubble screens on 3rd down, trying to hope that they're going to get these big chunk plays eventually, maybe eventually it's going to work. We're finally going to work. It's finally going to work this time. And the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again until it succeeds. It hasn't succeeded yet for the Michigan football game, but who knows? Maybe next time it will.
Well said. It's a very fair point.
Well, Penn State offense comes out at the 32-yard line. They punted on their last drive. That was their first possession of the 3rd quarter. They have the football at the 32-yard line with 4:59 to go.
Yep, twins up top, man-to-man coverage.
Clifford takes the snap. He's going to throw. Got a man wide open underneath. That's Lutz, and he'll pick up the first down. Go out of bounds just past the line to gain. 11 or 12 yards there. Isaac Lutz and a first down.
Yeah, just like same theme as we talked about earlier. Just seems like Penn State has a lot of options in the slot. There's nobody covering those quick outs, nobody covering those quick flats, leaving Penn State to throw it, get another 6-7 yards after the catch, and just another first down for the Penn State Nittany Lions.
Clifford runs up to the line, and he motions the running back Lee from the right side to the left. 3 wide receivers. They'll give it off to the rim. Actually, that's Holmes, and he'll get a yard. Michigan continues to plug the interior well.
I don't know if you've seen this a lot, Andy, but have you noticed that the Michigan linebackers and DBs are always either directly at the line of scrimmage to rush or far away when they're trying to go in zone?
Talking about the spacing in between.
The spacing. There was
yeah.
literally 5 yards of space between the first and second level.
Yeah, again, it's more the theme that Don Brown loves, the blitz.
Clifford looks at the sideline. Under 4 minutes to play in the quarter. Now he takes the snap, going to try and scramble it himself, and he'll get maybe a couple yards, 2, and he'll be brought down at the 43. Quiddy Pay tackles him from behind now. 3rd and medium for Penn State. Michigan trying to get the Penn State offense off the field, and they substitute again. They get the pass rushing package out there.
Yeah, great job by Quiddy Pay on that play. Sean Clifford trying to break off the right side of the line of scrimmage, but Quiddy kept a really good job of keeping contained and making sure Clifford does not get the outside lane.
Showing an all-out blitz. Now they back off a little bit. They've got Welshoff as a down lineman with Ojabo and Pay. Also corners off the other edge. Pressure starts to come. Clifford shakes it, trying to step up. He's got the first down and more. Cuts it back at the 40, 35, 30, 25, and he gallops all the way down to the 23-yard line. Breaking contain there, the Penn State quarterback with his second long run of the day, and that's a huge pickup. Now there's a flag down.
Not sure where.
Yeah, I don't see it, but Carl Grapentine, the PA announcer, said there was a flag.
I mean,
there was.
Looks like they picked it up.
Yeah. No announcement, though. That's weird. You did see that. You did see the side judge there. Not the side judge. The back umpire, whatever that one is. The non-white hat.
Yeah.
Tuck his flag back into his belt buckle there. So, not sure what happened.
So, Penn State now, 1st and 10 from the 23-yard line. 2:38 to go in the quarter. Clifford swings it out. He's got a receiver in the flat. The 20-yard line down to the 19 of the 18. Keziah Holmes picks up a chunk of 5 on first down.
8 of 6 on the play. 2nd and 4.
Yeah, if you're Michigan, that play where Sean Clifford broke off that big run, that's the problem with blitzing. As soon as the initial blitz doesn't meet the quarterback, that leaves the middle of the field wide open, giving for a chance for Sean Clifford to break off kind of a draw like that or unplanned QB run.
2nd down and 4, hands it off to Lee. He doesn't get much. Now it's going to be 3rd and short from the 16-yard line.
especially because it forced some of the DBs who are playing zone to panic and cover the flat. One guy, I think it was like 43 or whatever, had to panic and get right out of the way where Sean Clifford was going to run, just because like the flat guy had nobody on him for a while, and Sean Clifford was looking his way.
3rd and 8, Penn State spreads it out wide. 5 receivers. You got to be careful about the Clifford scramble here. Michigan's got 4 down linemen. 7 men in the box. They all shift to the right, and Clifford's going to try and keep it himself, and he will not have room. He'll be brought down right at the line of scrimmage. That's a big stop by Donovan Jeter up the middle, and now Penn State will put the field goal team on the field. They're at the 16. This should be about a 33-yarder.
Yeah, we already have a missed field goal attempt here so far by Penn State. Again, kicking into the wind, the same direction in which it did miss the field goal. So this is not a chip shot by any means.
Stout previously attempted the field goal. This one's going to be taken by Pinegar. 33-yarder from the left hash. Snap out. Hold is good. The kick is a wobbler, but he puts it through. And Penn State goes back up by 10 points, 20-10, with 40 seconds even remaining in the third quarter. Well, it was a 10-point game at halftime, and now we're back to square zero.
Yeah, you're asking Michigan to do the exact same thing that they were supposed to do coming out of the second half. Now with only 1 quarter remaining, like I talked about earlier, Michigan's a team that's not passing particularly well right now. And in order to make a comeback like this, you have to be efficient in the passing game. And that's something Michigan has not been so far. Again, only tallying 78 yards through the air so far today. So if Michigan wants to try to get a comeback going, they're going to have to be able to pass and move the ball through the air.
Sean Clifford individually has outgained the Michigan offense. He's at 142 yards passing and 68 on the ground. Total that up, and he's at 210. Michigan's at 203 as a team. Not a great sign right there. But amazingly, Michigan's still in the game, only down 10 with 15 minutes and 40 seconds left in regulation. Not out of it by any means, but they're going to need consistent offensive drives here. And the kickoff, another wobbler, and that one's going to go out of bounds again. And Michigan, for the second time today, will start at the 35. I don't know what the story is with Jordan Stout right now, but both him and Pinnegar kick the ball, and it like flies sideways. Very odd.
Yeah, those are mistakes you can't afford to make. When you have a 10-point lead going into the fourth quarter, you can't give up those kind of field positions. Now Michigan gets the ball at the 35-yard line, and again, it's a mental mistake you cannot make at this time of the game.
Michigan's going to need a big play, too, at some point. They've gained most of their yards on big plays. These 3-yard passes are not going to do it at this moment in time. Cade McNamara starts another drive in the shotgun. He's got plenty of time to throw, fires towards Cornelius Johnson, and he does not throw it accurately. That ball bounces before it gets to the receiver.
It just shows right there, every receiver was meant to block, was to clear out. There was no way that wasn't going to Cornelius Johnson, but it turned out the tight end was the most open guy. Way open on the post route. That could have been 12 yards right there.
Well, they had 6 yards to Cornelius Johnson if that's just an accurate ball. I mean, he's open. That's the throw that needs to be made. And again, you wonder about the throwing shoulder affecting McNamara, but Milton didn't show any better accuracy in his time on the field. McNamara's going to throw again. He's got a receiver, Henning, running free. And did Henning make the catch? Yes, he did! A deep ball to A.J. Henning. The diminutive wide receiver from Illinois makes the catch at the 37-yard line, and that's a big play that we were talking about.
Yeah, big play by A.J. Henning, big 4-star recruit, true freshman this year. He's mostly known as a speedster.
Yeah.
But for him to go up and make a contested catch like that shows a lot of capabilities to A.J. Henning. Big play for Michigan. High momentum swift kind of play there for the Wolverines.
Now they're firmly into Penn State territory at the 37. 6 seconds left in the third quarter. They don't have to snap it if they don't want. And McNamara will, though. Final play of the quarter right here. Pressure comes. He's going to swing it out towards a running back. And McNamara got hit kind of hard there. Ball drops incomplete. And it's 2nd and 10 as we close the third quarter.
Yeah, very fortunate for the Wolverines. He dumps it off to Haskins, but he misses the throw towards the middle of the field. Typically, when you do that to your dump off, bad things can happen. Almost an interception there for Cade McNamara.
I gotta say, Andy, have you seen a throw to the middle of the field most of the game, or have they mostly all been out routes and bubble screens to the side?
It's been a pretty boring offense. You're right, Miller. It's been mostly bubbles and short flats or quick outs. There hasn't been many plays where they're trying to test the defense over the middle. So I agree. It's a less dynamic offense.
15 minutes placed up on the scoreboard as we hit the break before the fourth quarter. Big moment in this fourth quarter upcoming for Michigan. Season on the line, prospects of going to a bowl in all likelihood on the line here for Michigan. What do they have left in store? That's the question. Total yardage 307 to 231 for Penn State after Michigan got that big play. But again, it is the story of these long plays. Haskins a 59-yard run, Ronnie Bell a 21-yard catch, and Henning a 28-yard catch. You total those up, that accounts for a lot of Michigan's offense right now.
Yeah, it's been almost a boomer bust type of offense. We haven't really seen a long, methodical drive for Michigan where they'd be able to convert it into a touchdown. The touchdown came off of that really long Hassan Haskins run. It hasn't been like a 5-yard, 6-yard pop type of offense for Michigan today. Like you said, it's been very reliant on those deep plays. And sometimes they happen, most of the times they don't. And when they don't happen, you have to rely on those boomer bust plays. Typically, you're not going to win football games. There's only 1 or 2 teams in the country that I think that can rely on those big plays often because they have the skill to always have consistently those big plays. That's Ohio State and Clemson. Besides those 2 teams, everybody else lives and dies off of those methodical long drives.
Yeah, but I disagree with you, Andy. The 2 biggest factors in winning football games are turnovers and big chunk plays.
Well, of course, I'm saying for an offense to have constant, sustainable, offensive momentum is to be able to have those drives where you can have these 5-6 yard pops and continue to move the chains. When you rely on boomer bust and a team like Michigan, that's not going to work. It's not going to work.
To me, it doesn't look like they're relying on it, though. They're just getting them when sometimes they come. They're relying on their small screen passes and sweeps, but they're just not working. They need to be more aggressive and get more creative down the field instead of just taking 5-yard cuts or 20-yard heaves.
Well, Michigan in the huddle talking about how they're going to dial up this fourth quarter, but obviously getting a touchdown here would be massive for Michigan on this drive to get back within 3.
Yeah, touchdown now. It gives you opportunity to still give up a field goal and still be within a one-possession game. So I agree, during a touchdown, when you are in plus territory, it's huge for the Wolverines.
McNamara is in the center of the huddle right now while Milton and Dan Villari play catch on the sideline. About a minute remaining in this commercial timeout.
Again, I want to see guys like Ronnie Bell more involved in the offense. You know, we ran a lot of slants, a lot of flats for the guy, but he's a guy that can make so many things happen with the ability to run after the catch. If you can get him in even a little bit of open space, he can do some really good things for your offense.
Now the huddle breaks.
I do think the Wolverines have missed Giles Jackson just a little bit today.
Yeah.
He hasn't been a great influence on the offensive side of the ball, but again, Michigan had that huge muffed punt that happened to change the tide of that game at the end of the second half, and then his ability to return kicks. I know we've had 2 kicks go out of bounds, and Michigan can't even have a chance to return a kick, but he is such an impact player that can really change the momentum of any game at any time.
Fourth play of the drive upcoming. 2nd and 10 from the Penn State 37. Wolverines come out of the timeout with stacked wide receivers on each side of the formation. McNamara takes the snap, blitz coming. He finds Eubanks. That's a nice throw and a big pickup of about 8 yards out of bounds. That'll set up 3rd and short.
Yeah, it puts Michigan really close to 4-down territory now that they're kicking into the wind. But again, the whole goal of a 2nd and 10, 2nd and 9 play is to make your 3rd down play manageable. So that 5-yard, 6-yard route is a really nice play call and play design there for the Wolverines.
3rd and 4. McNamara claps his hand once. Penn State jump. I think that's offsides. We'll see if they say Michigan jump first, but that sure looked like offsides to me. And the far side official is signaling it. Michigan's going to pick up the first down on a hard count there from Cade McNamara. It's going to be 28, Jason Oweh. That's his 2nd offsides of the game for the redshirt sophomore defensive end.
Really nice job there by Andrew Stuber. As soon as the Penn State defender came across the line of scrimmage, he reacted to it immediately.
Yep.
So once you do that, the play is dead. The play is dead, and it does nothing but force the side judges to call an offside penalty. That's an aware, high IQ play there by Andrew Stuber by getting that penalty.
Yeah, the redshirt sophomore offensive lineman from Connecticut, Stuber there on that play. Now they give it off, and here's a cutback by Blake Corum. He's into space, 15, close to the 10, and a big run for Blake Corum, 15 yards as a hole opened up, and Michigan now approaching a goal-to-go situation. I think this will be 1st and 10 from the 11.
That was the same exact thing that happened earlier in this game. Lance Dixon overcommitted on the outside counter play where he left the cutback wide open for Blake Corum, and finally he hit that cutback and it turned into a big play. Someone in the offensive staff told him that situation that happens at Blake, look for that cutback when you get that outside run.
1st and 10 at the 11-yard line. McNamara takes the snap, going to give it off to Corum. He's going to try to bounce it outside. He's at the 10. He's at the 5. He's scampering towards the goal line. He's going to come up about a yard or so short. We'll see if they give him the first down because they needed the 1-yard line. They say no, he's about a yard short. So 2nd and 2, or 2nd and 1 rather, from the 2.
Really
13:30 to go.
Just really nice change of pace by Blake Corum. I mean, have Zach Charbonnet? He's active
not
today.
played
He's not
today.
played yet today, but he was warming up. He was
he's
supposed to be.
not seen a single snap today.
Now McNamara under center for the first time maybe all day. I formation with Haskins in the backfield. They've got Mason the lead blocker. Haskins shakes a tackle. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Michigan. And the Wolverines claw closer. Hassan Haskins with his 2nd touchdown today. And now Michigan extra point away from making it a 3-point game.
Great clear-out block by Stuber. Was able to push the Penn State defender inside, leaving nothing but a major hole. Look at that, Andy.
Yeah, it's a great downhill. Again, an inside block where you're forcing that defensive tackle to go inside. It's more of a back block. that creates a huge hole in Ben Mason with the lead block through the hole. Just great job clearing out space. And Hassan Haskins does the things he's been doing all game.
And now out comes Moody for the extra point. He puts it right through, and now it's 20-17, Penn State on top. But this game's gotten a lot more interesting. A long throw to Henning to set up the drive, then a nice run, two of them really, from Corum.
Yeah.
And Haskins punches it in. The drive goes 7 plays, 65 yards, and it only takes 2 minutes and 28 seconds off the clock. 13 and change left in the game.
Again, I'm really impressed. That's something that not many freshman running backs see, and I really do think somebody up in the box or somebody on the field saw that when Michigan ran that sort of stretch out to the outside, out to the 7-hole, out to the outside part of the field. When Lance Dixon, the first time that stretch happened, he really overcommitted. Typically as a linebacker, you're taught to stay on the back shoulder of the running back, so that way you can still chase him, you can still tackle him, but if he makes a cutback, you're still in position to make that tackle. Lance Dixon was not on the back shoulder of Blake Corum the first time that stretch happened, leaving the cutback wide open, but Blake Corum didn't make that cutback. On this instance, Lance Dixon, again, overcommitted, didn't stay on that back shoulder, but Blake Corum made the cutback this time, almost could have took it to the house. Instead, he turned it to a 25, 30-yard play, which is a really nice play, and somebody in the staff saw that. Whoever saw that, that is a great read there for the Michigan offense, and it turned into a great, huge momentum swinging play.
100%. And also, Blake Corum could have probably taken that to the house. He missed he made an odd decision to cut back.
He cut back again.
He cut back in. He probably should have tried to stay out left and get those extra 7 yards, but hey, that's results. That's not results-oriented thinking right there.
And Michigan's starting to get more push on the offensive line, too. It's a young offensive line, especially with Zach Carpenter starting, Carson Barnhart. Those are both redshirt freshmen out there. A lot of turnover on the offensive line, and then the crucial injuries to the tackles and the center, different points in this season. It's a young unit under Ed Warrener, but they're starting to show some better blocks right now, and they help pave the way for that touchdown.
Yeah, this ball game just feels completely different, Drain. Like you said, Michigan can score a touchdown on that drive. They can still give up that field goal and keep it a one-possession game. This game just feels so much more manageable for Michigan.
And it's also interesting because Penn State's got a pretty solid defensive line, a lot of seniors, Shaka Tony and Antonio Shelton in particular. And Michigan couldn't get any push against Michigan State here just about a month ago. And they're getting some decent push, and part of it is the running backs. Haskins has done a great job to make yards out of nothing in his carries today.
Yeah, again, we've been tooting the same horn all game. Hassan Haskins has played very, very well today. He made a lot of opportunities happen when there was no opportunity given to him. So he's been a huge factor in this game. You know, actually, all three of us had a chance last year to travel down to Penn State.
Yep.
I guess over to Penn State to watch that game. And you guys remember watching that game? One player stuck out to me for sure. I thought was the best player in that game was Micah Parsons. And Micah Parsons is not in that game this year. You could tell has been a big factor with that Penn State defensive line.
Well, both teams have lost considerable talent during the course of the season. Michigan loses Hutchinson on the defensive side. Penn State loses Parsons on their defense. And, on offense, Penn State loses Pat Fryermuth. On offense, Michigan has lost several players in the offensive line plus Jackson. These are some banged-up teams.
And it has been a year that's been tough for everybody. A lot of teams had really good talent kind of opt out because of the coronavirus year. So it's been an adjustment.
Moody boots this one away. It'll land at the 9 and a fair catch called for. Penn State not taking any chances returning any kicks today. They'll start from their 25.
Yeah, but they may have been banged up. But this is supposed to be a get-right year for both teams. They were supposed to come in with a returning quarterback, trying to go into the next era for their football team. It just hasn't worked out for both teams.
Yeah, I mean, Sean Clifford and this is his third year starting?
Second
year starting.
Yep.
Well, 3 years ago, that was a year where Chase McSorley was hurt.
Yeah.
He actually started against Michigan. So he's got experience. I mean, should be a guy that should have been pretty successful.
He struggled in today's game through the air. He's been good on the ground, though. First play of the drive, he'll keep it himself. Pressure starts to come in his face, rolling out to the right. He's on the run, looking for a receiver who ran out of bounds. Was not going to be eligible even if that ball was catchable, and it wasn't, and it falls incomplete.
Something about the number 14 Penn State's quarterback in their second year just doesn't seem to work. 2nd
and 10, now at the 25-yard line. Michigan is going to make a couple substitutions. Van Sumeren comes on the field. Jeter goes off.
Yeah, good decision there by Clifford. Nothing was happening with that play. Like you said, the receiver actually ran out of bounds, came back in. If he catches that ball, it's illegal touching. So Clifford just throws the ball away and settles for a 2nd and 10.
Indiana's now up 20-3 on Maryland, and the other Big Ten game going on right now. Clifford takes the snap. He'll give it off to the running back. Looks like Lee picks up 7 yards. Had some spacious room off the right side of the formation. Now it'll be 3rd and short.
Yeah, for Michael Barrett there, from the safety position, actually he was at the opposite linebacker position, so he had to come across the field. It's really tough to kind of fill a hole and fill that gap there. I guess just really good blocking there for Penn State by creating a good hole.
3rd and short. Big play here. Penn State doesn't want to go 3 and out on their first possession and give Michigan a chance to tie it. 3 receivers plus tight ends. Clifford takes the snap. He's got time to throw. He fires, got a man complete at the 40-yard line. Fits it in on a nice little slant route out to the 44-yard line. That's Jahan Dotson.
Just good move by Penn State. The first guy wasn't there. You saw he thought that everyone was coming out of the blitz. Faked it, tried to get to the inside guy, waited an extra second because that time was there, got to the outside slant.
Yeah, nice little route there by Dotson, too. He's getting one of those situations where he probably is going to go for a slant, but he fakes right, cuts back left to the middle of the field. It gets Green to bite on it real hard and converts the first down.
Dotson's 3rd catch today puts him in a tie for 2nd with Lutz. Now Clifford's going to carry this one himself. He runs forward and then stumbles down at the 49-yard line. That's a solid 5-yard pickup. They continue to use that quarterback keeper as a central part of the rushing offense right now.
Yeah, it's been working really well since they made that. Really almost since Sean Clifford just came back from the knee injury. He's been more effective with his feet, oddly enough. It's been a really nice aspect that James Franklin and the Penn State offensive staff is kind of dialed in.
Penn State, 331 total yards at this juncture. 2nd and 5 on the 49-yard line. And a handoff to Lee. He shakes a tackler, going to cut outside. He's got space. He's at the 40. He's at the 35. And the tacklers now converge at the 29-yard line. A big chunk play there of 20-plus yards for Kayvon Lee. And now Penn State marching into Michigan territory.
Something you don't want to see. The blitzers were already behind the running back by the time he got there, so it left enough space for the running back to get there. And there was nobody there left in the second level to chase after him until he was way down the field.
And Upshaw did a really poor job of not keeping contained there. Allows the running back to get the outside and convert a big play.
Clifford gives it off to Lee again. He's going to cut outside again. Bounces off Jamon Green out of bounds, maybe 4 yards there.
They're really missing Cam McGrone out there because Cam McGrone was a janitor out there. He would just clean up messes everywhere left and right, and they really are missing him.
Yeah, he was almost the same kind of linebacker that Devin Bush was.
Exactly.
Just could chase the ball down. He had so much speed. Where outside plays like that, he could wrap a dude up with a 1-yard, 2-yard play instead of a 4 or 5-yard play.
2nd and 6. Clifford looks to the sideline. Motions Lee to his left. And Lee will get it again, and he runs into tacklers, but he sheds them, and he picks up the first down. He was hit in the backfield, and somehow he picks up 8 yards on the play, down to the 15, and now it's getting hairy for Michigan. They've got to find a way to bend but not break on this drive.
Yeah, just another example of Michigan defense missing tackles. You know, it's been kind of a theme all game. These Penn State running backs spinning away from tackles and, you know, converting on these first downs.
1st and 10. Clifford, the 20. Ball's placed on the 15. Now he's going to run up to the line after seeing something kind of frantically. Looks at the center, Minet. Now he'll take the snap. Another handoff to a running back who surges forward for 3.5. Keziah Holmes that time.
And this is one of those drives that I was just wishing that Michigan could do. Penn State, just a nice, long, methodical drive, 4 yards, 5 yards, 6-yard pops, where they're continuing to move the chains and kind of, you know, take off a lot of time on this clock. It's been about a 3-minute drive here for the Penn State Nittany Lions. Pretty successful.
Clifford takes the snap, drops back, ready to throw. He's got a man on a slant route, and a great play there by Daxton Hill covering Parker Washington, slapping that ball away. Now it's 3rd and 7.
You know, I got to tip my caps to this officiating crew. that is a play probably 2 weeks ago against Michigan State or 3 weeks ago. That would have been called for a holding. We haven't had a holding or a defensive penalty called yet, or defensive pass interference called yet. I love when officiating crews let offensive and defensive secondary players be physical.
That's been an advantage to the empty stadiums.
Now Clifford, 3rd down and 7 from the 12-yard line. He's got Lee to his right. Takes the snap, drops back. He's going to fire. Got a man complete at the 5-yard line, breaking a tackle, and that's a Penn State first down.
Yeah, just an absolute beautiful zig route. You fake that slant, you can convert in, and you stop, move pace, and go all the way to the outside. Nice little route there by Dotson. Gets a big first down.
Also, just bad coverage by Reynolds. He let the guy get away from him and it was behind him all the way. He was basically lucky that wasn't a touchdown.
Strange angle taken by Reynolds there. 1st and goal. They hand it off to Lee. He gets down inside the 2. 8:44 to go in the game.
Again, it's so tough. Michigan has sort of this double-edged sword with the secondary right now. They're not good at playing man-to-man coverage, but they haven't been practicing zone coverage enough to be efficient at it. So whatever they do, whatever they choose to play, they haven't been very successful with it.
Now Will Levis onto the field, the backup quarterback. Been running the Wildcat for Penn State. Going to take the snap, and he's going to try and run for it, and he breaks the tackle, and he's into the end zone. Penn State touchdown. Looked like he broke Hunter Reynolds' tackle there, and they go back up by 9. Extra point upcoming, 8:12 to go.
It looked like there was no edge to the defensive front up there. It seemed that they were all worried about the inside gash, and then Levis just took it outside the side.
And every single time that PSU, Penn State, came out in that Wildcat formation, Levis has ran the ball off tackle. He's ran the ball off tackle, and still does it again. And Michigan doesn't have an outside contain, and it turns into a Penn State touchdown. And I don't want to say secures this game over because, I mean, still 8 minutes to go, but it makes it a lot harder to come back now.
Well, the Michigan offense hasn't seemed to be, they have to basically, Michigan has to essentially double their point total at this moment.
So Penn State gets the extra point through from Pinnegar, 27-17. Penn State on top. We have breaking news to report to those listening to this game from the NFL. The Detroit Lions have fired general manager Bob Quinn and head coach Matt Patricia. Big shakeup in the NFL world.
I mean,
it's a big shakeup.
You know, I could have a little shakeup here in the Michigan world. Could Jim Harbaugh go to the NFL? Could he go back to the Lions? Not back to the Lions, but go to the Lions.
Oh, Lord. This is professional broadcast, Andy.
I mean, all three of us are very happy as Lions fans to know that Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn are out of the front office.
I'm ecstatic that Bob Quinn is out.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. There's nothing more deflating than having a bad general manager.
I'm just glad that we're not, like, trying to be the New England Patriots 2.0. Like, it's been a problem. I mean, how many times has Matt Patricia brought in, like, a backup player for the Patriots and expected him to be a starting linebacker or DB for the Lions? I think a new direction finally gets a little excitement in for this long, treacherous, depressing franchise.
And the big question after will be what happens with the other Matt. Are they going to take this new direction as a new opportunity to start anew, or are they going to try to do it one last time with Matt Stafford?
I still think Matt Stafford is a good quarterback who's surrounded by just a really bad team.
That's the problem. Do you want to surround Matt Stafford with? Do you want to invest in surrounding Matt Stafford with a bad team, or do you want to fully start over and build your team? It's a brand new situation.
I don't know. It's a fair question.
We're being told that offensive coordinator Darrell Bevel will be the interim head coach.
Oh, that might be worse.
Both teams huddling up as we return to the game. 8:12 to go. Michigan now in a big moment. Down 10 points. Gut check time. 0-5 team they're facing. And they are on the verge of losing to that 0-5 team at home. If they cannot turn this around, got to have points on this upcoming drive. That drive for Penn State, by the way, 12 plays, 75 yards in 5 minutes.
Yep, that's the exact type of methodical drive that you have to do if you're the Penn State Nittany Lions. You try to chew up clock, and eventually, hopefully, you can find your way in the end zone. They do exactly that. Like you said, 5 minutes, come out with a touchdown. That is picture perfect. You cannot paint a better picture if you're James Franklin and the Penn State Nittany Lions offensive staff.
Yeah, totally agree. Michigan at this point needs to. I mean, this is what we've been talking about all game. Michigan needs to probably be more aggressive, and this is their only chance to show. Can they even do it? Is it even in the playbook? Because all we've seen is there's.
I would sure hope it's in the playbook.
I don't know at this point.
We haven't seen it, right? I mean, we
how
don't
many
know.
how many times are gonna I've seen 2 slants all game.
Yeah.
I've seen one post. I haven't seen a post all game. Have you seen a post?
Not that's been thrown to.
Yeah, it's they can't rely on these bubble screens anymore.
The only shot we've seen downfield that's been successful is the A.J. Henning jump ball. That's the only one we've seen. You have guys who are capable in doing it. And to be fair, they did lose their big deep play down the field jump ball kind of guy, Nico Collins. But you still have to test that. You still have to test that ability to make those kind of plays. And Michigan really just hasn't.
Here's the kickoff. And that will go out of the end zone again. Michigan has not returned to kickoff today. Haven't really had an opportunity to.
Yeah, but not having Giles Jackson or Nico Collins is not really an excuse because they still have speed at the position. You're not doing them a service by giving them bubble screens where they're going to be taken down early. The best way to use these screens is to try to have them beat the cornerbacks deeper. Try to have them use their speed in space, not just at the line of scrimmage.
No, I agree with that too. And it's not like the offensive line has had a hard time containing the defensive line.
No, there's been time to throw.
Mm-hmm.
So McNamara with the biggest drive of his career thus far, starting at his own 25. Down 10, Michigan needs points, and they need it quickly. With 8 minutes to go in the game, he's going to fling it out towards the receiver Johnson, and not close there.
If that ball was held extra seconds, you had, I think, that I don't know who that is. I can't tell because his mouth guard is over. But he had him on a post inside. But I guarantee that wasn't even a design to ever even be considered throwing to him.
Mm-hmm.
That was a touchdown that was missed.
Yeah, that's Ronnie Bell.
That was Ronnie Bell
on that post.
Yeah, missed.
It was another 3-yard out that just did not work.
McNamara, 2nd and 10.
Corner blitz.
Takes the snap. Now he's going to fling it at the running back Haskins in the flat. Pressure started to come, but not a lot. And he just kind of panicked there, and on the back foot, throws it at the foot of his receiver Haskins.
Penn State isn't even respecting the gumption of Josh Gattis to throw the ball on the field. They basically let Ronnie Bell be free, and he ran a slant inside. It was open with nobody around him.
3rd and 10, 8:05 to go. Now another offsides in Penn State, I think, unless they call false start. But it looked like Shakatoni jumped.
That's 3 offsides now for Penn State. You're
Referees
very fortunate you're not losing this game by making mistakes like that.
And it is an offsides. So now from 3rd and 10 to 3rd and 5, another massive change.
If you're Michigan, you have to be able to capitalize on things like that. You have to be able to capitalize on those really, really stupid mistakes. And they have not capitalized enough to make this game, favoring the Wolverines on the scoreboard.
3rd and 5. Oh boy, Penn State close to jumping again. That looked like Antonio Shelton on the interior. McNamara's claps have been fooling the white shirts today. And now he's going to hand it off to a running back. That's Chris Evans, rather. He's got some room and goes out of bounds at the 44. That's a nice pickup. Michigan gets the first down, 14-yard gain, and they're now inching closer to midfield.
Michigan has been really good recently at setting the edge on their blocking. It's really helped them out, but Michigan needs to get ready and throw down the ball and be aggressive.
Yeah, Stuber's done a really nice job this game. He's been a big factor in the Michigan's running game.
1st and 10. Cade checks the sideline.
Yeah, 5 wide receivers, no running backs. Cade McNamara all by himself in the backfield.
Takes the snap. 4-man rush on the way. Throws again at the feet of a receiver. This time it's Ronnie Bell bouncing about a yard in front of him.
Yeah, it looks like there was a little backside pressure from Penn State that made.
Was he touched?
Yep, looks like there was a little contact that made that ball come out. A little funky there for Cade, but again, more pressure for the Penn State Nittany Lions.
Yeah, you definitely want to see better product.
McNamara at the 2nd and 10 upcoming. Takes the snap.
Oh, he was touched.
And he's going to throw in the direction of Eric All, who was well covered Contact may have come a little early from Jaquan Brisker, but that wasn't a terribly accurate throw.
And that's the way this game has been called the entire time. Like I said, we have not had a single penalty on defensive holding or defensive pass interference.
3rd and 10. Again, Michigan's in a 3rd and long situation.
A lot of pressure up the
takes
middle.
the snap. Yep, blitz comes. He's going to roll out to his right. Pressure coming from behind. He's stripped. Ball is loose. It's rolling around. Penn State picks it up. They're at the 30, and they go out of bounds at the 25.
McNamara was sacked and fumbled.
Yeah, that's one of the situations on 3rd down. There is a flag on the field.
Penalty flag on the field.
It might. The only thing
But it
could be
looks
is-
like it's in the Michigan backfield, so it's probably going to be offensive holding.
I think it was illegal touching. I think the linebacker might have been who kept the ball in play. Might have,
batted the ball back in play. You cannot bat the ball forward. We'll see what this flag is.
if it's anything, I think that's what it is.
Regardless,
Referees conferring.
pressure on the backside forces McNamara to roll out. 3rd down. He wants to get a 1st down. He wants to throw the ball. He can't throw it away. Throw the ball away. It's 4th down. You have to punt. Cage is trying to, not trying to do too much. He had to do something. And strip sack. Penn State recovers. Huge play. Probably seals the deal here for them, especially because the ball, they recover on the 30-yard line, 35-yard line. So probably seals the deal here for the Michigan Wolverines.
You gotta imagine that ball. I'm still dumbfounded as to who that was supposed to go to if the play wasn't a blitz, because there were 4 open receivers down the field. Yes, there were.
There's one of those situations where he rolls out in the pocket. It's tough to find. If there's an open receiver, he's rolling to his right, he's rolling to his dominant hand. That's an easier throw to make than rolling from your opposite, or from your non-dominant hand. I think the ball would have been thrown if there was an open receiver down the field. Didn't seem to me like there's anybody open, and that's why there was a long sack that a guy came all the way from the wide side of the field and made a sack, and made a blindside sack, and just turned into a fumble for the Wolverines.
Eric All was open on the seam, and if a quarterback had the gumption to do it, it would be there.
Referees now conferring. The penalty marker is still on the field. So they're saying it was a fumble, illegal touching by Penn State, which then means that it will be 3rd down again.
Huh.
That's exactly what I thought. I thought the guy touched it while he was out of bounds, and that's why. Because no one had possession of it, so technically it would go right back to Michigan, who still had it.
Yeah, look at the replay of the last play. There was definitely great coverage there from Penn State. Didn't seem like there's anybody open. But that's a really interesting ruling. The fact that Penn State recovers the fumble, but I guess you can argue if there's no illegal bat, then Penn State would not have recovered that fumble.
Well, there's no declare possession, so no one has possession. So technically,
They're moving the football forward. This might be a 1st down then.
I think 15 yards. So it was.
It is a 1st down officially.
Wow. That's a huge breakthrough for the Wolverines.
Game-changing play.
It makes sense, though, because potentially, if the ball is not batted, then Penn State might not recover that fumble. That makes sense to why there's like you said, there's no change of possession. Michigan keeps the ball.
Wow.
That's a huge swing there for the Wolverines.
Just massive. Michigan's now got a 1st down and 10 at the 46-yard line of Penn State. Not just do they get out of a 3rd and long, but they also get more yardage forward. 7:05 to go in the game. They're still only down 10. The offense has been sputtering right now, though. McNamara takes the snap. Well protected. Throws towards the receiver. Oh, boy, that route almost jumped. Michigan fortunate that it falls incomplete. Trying to see the number of who got in there. It looked like Brandon Smith.
Yeah, another zig route where if you just run a slant, the zig route is where you fake a slant, stop your change of motion, and go all the way back to an out. If you stay on that first part of the zig route, you stay on that slant, I think that play's open. Joe Milton in here at quarterback now.
Milton comes in, 2nd and 10, Michigan. hands it off. No, he's going to keep it himself, and he's running on the far side of the field. He's at the 40. Now stutter steps, tries to go forward towards the first down marker. I think he's going to be a yard short, but it'll be 3rd and 1.
I'm curious to see if that's just a McNamara thing or...
McNamara's on the sideline with his helmet off.
That had to have been a Cade thing.
Did Cade have an injury? Because usually the helmet off means that the trainer took his helmet off.
He's standing with a coach.
Yeah, I'm interested. I don't know.
I think it's a benching.
Well, regardless, it's now 3rd and 2. The clock is ticking. Michigan's got to score. Then they have 2 timeouts to try and stop Penn State and get the ball back. But scoring is the first part of that sentence. Milton gives it off to Haskins. Did he get the first down? He's close. I don't think so. The referees are not signaling. Now it'll be 4th down and 1 maybe. Now the referees are saying, please stop the clock.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's a benching.
The chains haven't moved, but now the referees are standing, and now they're going to bring the chains out. Doesn't happen too much anymore, but they are bringing them out here. The football is down. If it's short, it'll be 4th down.
Michigan's way short. Not even close.
Yep.
It's a full yard.
Huh. Well,
they had to make sure.
4th and short upcoming.
It is.
I think, and now they're bringing they're going to remeasure.
I thought the offensive staff from Michigan was clueless, but it's like the referee staff is just as.
That looks short to me. Now they're going to take the chains off the field. The last 2 minutes of this game have devolved into sort of chaos right now.
4th and 1 here. You know, they kind of designed this play against Wisconsin. I would like to see Ben Mason lined up on the left side, on the right side of the field, and Hassan Haskins lined up on the left side of Joe Milton, and let's have a Joe Milton QB keep behind Ben Mason, and Ben Mason's not in the game, so that's not going to happen.
And now they're going to try and sneak
QB
it.
sneak.
I don't think they got it. Maybe they did. The referee's coming in from the far side. It's going to be close. We'll see the measurement. The Penn State defense is celebrating.
It's close though.
I don't know where the spot is going to be.
The Penn State side judge sure looked like he was lined up on the first down marker.
They're going to measure it again, I think.
That's close. It's real close.
Where the ball is spotted, that's not enough.
No.
Here comes the chains.
No,
maybe they. But they're.
It's about on the 30. It's on the,
no
on the 36
they're bringing the chains
line.
out. We're trying to see.
Short.
And the Penn State players are celebrating. That looks short. Tough to tell from our angle, but obviously now they've made the signal. Michigan turns it over, and this game is more or less over at this point. If Penn State can protect the football, they're up 10 with 5:37 to go.
Again, the type of play call that I want to see there. You trust Joe Milton with his legs. You saw it a lot against Minnesota. Line up Ben Mason on the right side of Joe Milton and line up Hassan Haskins on the left side. The reason Haskins is there is so you could threat that Haskins is getting the ball on a typical run play. But what's really happening is Ben Mason is leading through a hole and Joe Milton is following him. It's a QB keep. You see the Patriots run it all the time with Cam Newton. You saw the Panthers run it all the time with Cam Newton. It's a play that works when you have a quarterback with that size and athleticism.
First down for Penn State. They're going to keep it on the ground and try and run the time off. 3-yard gain for Kayvon Lee. Michigan's going to start using their timeouts.
And Andy, that's fair, but the Patriots have a lot more size in Cam Newton than Joe Milton currently is. Joe Milton is tall, but he isn't as big as he probably should be.
Yeah, but you can also argue Joe Milton's more horizontally athletic, more side-to-side gifted than Cam Newton is. He can read a hole and cut a hole very, very well. He did it against Minnesota exceptionally. I know Minnesota's not a spectacular team, but they ran those designs in that game far more than they have any other game that Joe Milton's been quarterback. Those designs worked. I think Joe Milton can make that play.
Yeah.
It's 5:30 left. This game's not over, but
I mean,
the direction of this Michigan football team after a game like today against an 0-5 Penn State football team that is just not good.
After an overtime come-from-behind victory against Rutgers.
Well, Michigan, as Penn State goes back out there after the timeout was called, Michigan on that drive got gifted new life with a penalty and still couldn't do much. Now here's another handoff to Kayvon Lee. He picks up a couple more. It'll be 3rd and about 2 or 3 upcoming. Michigan got that 15-yard penalty to not just not turn the ball over, but go forward, pick up more yards, a new set of downs. Couldn't do anything with it. Multiple offsides they benefited from in this game. Couldn't do much with them. And you sit here, and Michigan has gained under 300 yards of offense. A defense that is really struggling to make any stops. And at the end of the day, this is year 6 of a coaching regime, and they do not apparently have a quarterback who can throw an accurate ball right now. And that's the encapsulation of all of it.
And it's quarterbacks that they're not coming in as like 2-star, 3-star recruits. Joe Milton's a top 100 recruit. Cade McNamara, like we talked about earlier, is the guy who was offered by Alabama, by Notre Dame, by LSU. And you can't formulate these quarterbacks into successful on-the-field products. Shea Patterson was the guy who came into high school, or came into college, as a number 4 overall recruit in the country. A guy at Ole Miss who threw for 350 yards and 5 touchdowns against Auburn, a top 5 team. He comes to Michigan, he's an average quarterback.
These players are...
It's the quarterback whisperer. This is a quarterback whisperer that has not formed a good quarterback yet.
A lot of questions right now, for sure.
You're not doing your quarterbacks any favors by giving them the same play over and over and over and over and over and over again.
That is definitely, I agree, that is definitely part of the problem.
The reason, the last throw Cade McNamara threw was a bunch play. Where basically the whole idea was that you're going to throw either to the deep post or you're going to throw to the deep in route. But why did he throw to the in route? Because I'm sure he's told in practice time and time again, take the short route, don't throw deep, which just seems to be a mantra of the Michigan football team. At the end of the day, Michigan football players Michigan football quarterbacks are playing like they're scared, because I'm assuming that they're coached like that. They want the 5-yard play. They want the nickel and dime you, and it's just not working. It's not working, and you're misusing these quarterbacks. And these quarterbacks are much more talented than Shea Patterson ever really was. Shea Patterson may have been a misranked quarterback coming out of high school because he did not have NFL talent as a quarterback. Joe Milton and Cade McNamara.
Say what you want. Shea Patterson was far more efficient and far more effective than the product that we've seen on the team.
Oh, 100%
so far this year. Which is nothing, like I said, this is nothing against Cade McNamara and Joe Milton. I think they're fine quarterbacks. I really do. I think Dylan McCaffrey probably was a fine quarterback. It's just they're not coached and not schemed well right now. That's all it is.
That's 100%. They are being failed by their coordinators. 100%.
Well, Michigan took their final timeout. It'll be a 3rd and 3 upcoming. If Penn State punches it past the first down line here, that more or less will allow them to run another 3 minutes off with only 5:26 to go in a 10-point lead. Penn State is so close they can taste it at the moment after 5 straight losses to begin the season, knocking on the door of their first win in 2020.
Yeah, 3rd and 5 here after, or 3rd and 3 here after all that talk about how the game's over. You never know. Michigan gets a stop here, scores a touchdown, gets an onside kick. Obviously, if they get a first down here, this game is essentially over. They can waste 2 minutes.
It looks like Will Levis on the field at quarterback, and he's going to keep it himself. He gets hit at the line of scrimmage, but I think he got the first down with a push from behind him. The referee from the far side coming over seems to give him the spot. We'll see where they mark it. Good interior push from the Penn State offensive line.
Right at the marker. I'm curious to see. Looks like we're going to get a third spot in about 5 minutes.
Now that they put 4 down on the chains on the far side, where that ball is marked down, just looking at the sticks on the far side, that looks like a first down to me.
Yeah, on the broadcast.
Here they're going to bring him out again.
Yeah, our third measurement.
Game on the line right here, more or less.
Harbaugh still rocking the mic under his
That's a first down. And Penn State converts. That wasn't even close. The football was completely past the chains.
That really isn't even. That's a full football length.
Yeah, the football wasn't even touching any of the chains there. 1st and 10, Penn State, and the fans head for the exits.
The cardboard cutouts have been blown away by the wind.
Yeah. Sean Clifford back out onto the field, and he's just going to be handing it off a few times here as Penn State runs the final 5 minutes away.
Again, can blow off about 2 minutes of clock here with 3 plays.
Takes the snap, hands it off. Running back, makes a tackle, he's down the sideline. 45-40, 35-30, Kayvon Lee out of bounds. Michigan selling out to stop the run, and they give up a 20-plus yarder as Kayvon Lee cuts it outside.
Just a complete loss of gap responsibility there for the Michigan front 7. Every single player in the front 7 has a gap. You guard the 2-hole, 4-hole, 6-hole, 8-hole, 1-hole, 3-hole, 5-hole, 7-hole. The person guarding that outside lane on the right side, guarding that 6-hole, completely lost contain. Once you lose contain, that running back breaks off the outside. There is nobody to stop him. It turns into a 30-yard rush there for Penn State Nittany Lions.
1st and 10 at the Michigan 30. Clifford takes the snap, hands it off. Kayvon Lee goes for about 3 yards. The clock will keep rolling. Michigan has no timeouts remaining.
Hit the nail on the chalkboard there, Andy. I mean, it doesn't seem like a Don Brown coach defense has such thing as gap responsibility. It's point of attack and nothing else. If you see the ball, you go there.
I agree. That's not how you coach defense. I'm sorry, that's not how you coach the fundamentals. That's honestly been a theme this entire season, a loss of fundamentals.
Now Levis back onto the field, 2nd and 7. Well, this appears to be the first time in 1,350 games as Levis breaks another tackle and gets close to the first down that Michigan will lose to an 0-5 team as it's 3rd and 2 upcoming.
Yeah, and we kind of talked about earlier, probably the first time, considering that Michigan has still got the juggernaut of Ohio State left on the schedule, that Michigan will probably not make a bowl game for the first time since 2014.
2014, was that Hoax last year?
Hoax last year. Yep.
Wow, and I would bet quite a bit that 2014 team would beat the team on the field right now.
Who was the quarterback then?
Devin Gardner.
Devin Gardner, yep.
I broken Devin Gardner, but Devin Gardner.
Shane Morris, maybe.
Yeah, he played it a little bit.
Yeah.
3rd and 2 now for Levis and the Penn State offense. Takes the snap, and he'll get the first down and then some to the 15-yard line. That's a 7-yard pickup. 2:22 to go, and we're getting close to where you can start kneeling it down.
Yeah. Again, we got to think about the lasting impact that a season like this has on your program. You know, there's already recruits out there taking visits to other schools. Xavier Worthy, the top 100 wide receiver, arguably the key prize of this class, maybe besides J.J. McCarthy, is taking a visit to Alabama. You know, there's recruits that are very, very highly touted. That Michigan's had a very good class right now. With Harbaugh being fired, potentially being fired, and having a bad season, these recruits are going to start flying out the door.
Here's a kneel down now from Clifford, 1:45 to go. Whoa, he didn't kneel it initially, and then rushers came into his face. Now he does put the knee on the ground. 1:35 to go. They're going to have to do it probably 2 more times. I mean, a big question, obviously. Everybody who has any ear to the program insists that there's no way in the world that Jim Harbaugh is being fired. I don't know how that will change after this game. It continues to be a possibility that Harbaugh himself could leave or resign the job.
Yeah, and I think that's probably what's going to happen, Drain. I think he's going to resign himself, and hopefully he realizes he has not been the savior, the messiah, the Michigan comeback guy that everybody expected him to be.
Clifford kneels it down again. He's standing up to try and run as much time off on the clock before he has to take the knee, but then rushers come in his face, and he just kind of like panics and falls down. It's very clumsy looking.
He's got like 30 seconds to work with. I don't think he's...
Yeah, this is 3rd and 20. Now it's going to be under 40 seconds. This next knee will do it. Well, you wonder about potential coaching candidates. Yesterday, Matt Campbell at Iowa State defeated Texas. He's got his team in the top 15, despite being a pretty poor program historically. That's a name to watch as the final time runs off with that last kneel by Clifford.
Yeah, Future looking, you probably have 3 candidates off the top of my head that you're looking at. Matt Campbell, Joe Brady, and surprise, surprise, maybe Pep Hamilton.
One of those 3 candidates are realistic. Joe Brady, the former offense coordinator of Ohio State, don't see him coming to Michigan. Pep Hamilton, I don't see you hiring a former coordinator of the guy you just fired. I do love Matt Campbell. I really do. I just think the amount of product that he worked with at Iowa State. I just saw a stat that it was like a 6-to-1 ratio of 4 and 5 stars.
Yeah.
Compared from Texas to Iowa State, and he just beat Texas. He just beat Texas on Friday. That's a candidate I would like.
And he's a young guy. He's from Ohio. That's the number 1 name on the market right now. As the players head into the locker room. Final score here today: Penn State 27, Michigan 17. That does it for today's broadcast of Michigan football. Unless there is a COVID outbreak, there will be a game next Saturday against Maryland that Jack Molino will be doing with Charlie Brigham and Andrew Miller for that one. And that will be the final broadcast of the season for Andy and I. This was our final broadcast in the booth. My 23rd and final football game. It's been a blast, even at the lowest moments. But it's been a lot of fun, and we had a good broadcast here today. Michigan didn't deliver on the field, but overall, still fortunate to be here.
Absolutely. No matter what the situation is, Michigan could be 0-6, could be 6-0, could be playing for a national championship or playing for the toilet bowl. You know, whenever we get the honor of being in the big house and calling the Michigan football team, it's quite special. So yeah, I thank you, Drain. I thank the rest of WCBN, Miller. I thank you just giving me the opportunity to be here in the big house, being in the press box to cover, you know, the sports team that my dad and my grandpa, you know, put the love in me since I was young. It's been an honor, and I love it, and I'm very happy to have had this opportunity.
Well, with that, final score one last time from the big house: Michigan 17, Penn State 27. We'll have men's basketball tomorrow, hockey tonight, so more broadcasts to look forward to as the seasons really get underway here at the end of November. And with that, from the empty big house, Andrew Miller, Andy Laidlaw, I'm Alex Drain saying good night and go blue.